Hello, hello, everyone. Once again, we are here for another AWOL Season 4 Wednesday Weekly. I, of course, am Blue. I think this is my first time back in quite a while here on stream, at least. And I am joined by someone that we just had so much clamoring for to bring to these weekly events after the World's event that we just had to reach out, pay their salary, and bring them over for a weekly event. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Thanks, Blue. So for those who don't know me, I'm Argon. Cole likes to rip me off that I'm not really a US player because I'm from South Africa, but live in the US at the moment and use the US flag on BGA. But sort of big player online a lot, and was excited to be at Worlds and everything. But I'm really excited to join the cast today and join AWOL for the first time.
Definitely glad to have you. You're pretty expensive, but I think you're worth every penny. As mentioned, this is the Altered Weekly Online League, Season 4, Wednesday Weekly, number 4. Should have some pretty good games here. We'll be getting started here in minutes. Just going to do a quick refresh on the website here. We'll see who we got. Oh no, Runefolk joined. We may be getting some hostage going on here. Thought we were going to get quick matches, but maybe not. Other than that, yeah, I mean, should be fun to see what people are going to pull out. I have to imagine Wednesdays are usually the days that I see a lot of folks pull out some testing decks, it feels like,
Mhm.
just to throw some stuff in there and see what they can do. Whereas Mondays seem like the more of I'm going to get really serious and see who I can beat and get that 6-0 and be one of the two people that go undefeated. So should be fun to see who can pull something out here. Anything in particular that you'd like to see?
Honestly, I feel like, and there's been a lot of people asking for seeing a bit more of the new heroes. I know Cole had that event, I think it was last night, with some of the new heroes, which are really interesting to see,
Mm.
because we kind of haven't seen a lot, really. I feel like I've seen Soul a bit, but not much else. So seeing some new heroes would be good. And then hopefully no hostage. I'm not a huge fan of hostage. We'll sort of see what everyone brings to the table.
Yeah, it feels like there has been a bit of soul. There may have been. I think we've seen some results with Isari,
Mm,
Axiom Hero, um, and then past that, I mean, Kaori maybe a little
yeah.
bit. Um, Not that much Zen and Zephyr. I mean, because it's hard to play it a lot of times, I guess, if you're playing Sigismar instead, which is usually the case in Ortis. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's been Moyo in the form of like hostage variations. Who knows? Runefolk may do that, but I think that's more of a Keylon guy type of thing. And yeah, I mean, past that, we'll have to see what we can do. I know, like you mentioned, Cole's event yesterday. I believe Rinko ended up winning that one with the new Lyra hero, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah, he definitely did. Which I think Nadia is kind of, I haven't played a lot of her, but I feel like a really difficult hero to probably master, but really good once you do.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like we'll see a little more of her coming out as people get used to it. Everyone will now copy Rinku's deck, and it'll probably be used a lot more, which tends to be the case with these tournaments.
Yeah, definitely. And Rune folks saying in the chat, want to see Moyo win today. See that I mention it, and sure enough, Rune folk probably has it ready.
Maybe
Sure,
make
sure,
it
Rune.
happen.
Let's see what Moyo's got. I don't know. You already got the victory on Waru, right? We haven't seen a lot of Akesha lately, but Moyo could get the victory, I guess. Have to
Yeah.
see what uniques you're gonna bring in there for it. But past that, we're only 1 minute away before we get our first initial matchups here. We'll do a quick time check. Oh, even less than that. 10 seconds.
Nice.
Jumping right into the first round, so I'm gonna switch on over here and do a refresh as soon as we hit the hour mark, and then we'll get straight into the games for everybody. And I'll go ahead and let you pick the first Swiss round one here,
Okay,
and
that'll be
Swiss
good.
round one in general.
Let
And
me see what we've got. Interesting matchups. Why don't we watch Rune Folk for game
He's
1?
gonna start off strong here? Alright, let's do
Yeah.
it. Table 1 it is, we'll jump right into it once they both are available.
Yep.
Rune has yet to join the table, stalling out the start of the game, as well as probably the actual game itself. Um, and it's doing it against, Ferris Sparta from Brazil, 126 ELO. Good time to just get them exposed to what what you could see potentially. They have 400 games though, so
Oh, no.
they've definitely played their fair share. It's not like they're brand new. Let's see here. Still waiting on Rune to join on table one. Go ahead and give him a second here. Probably just too busy trolling the chat in the meantime. Oh, he's building his deck actively right now. Okay.
Oh, no.
So we got to wait for him to build the deck to join the game in order to be able to pick the deck. Um,
And how long does he have? 5 minutes, right?
yeah, 5 minutes technically, and sometimes BGA is finicky, so he may not actually get that 5 minutes. We'll have to see. Maybe he's practiced this at this point. This is part of the hostage strategy now. Maybe you have to build your deck prior to the game too, in order to play it. You can't just have it ready. You have to build the entire deck, and then you can play it on the setup here. But we'll have to see. What's going on, Insane? Just register in the last 10 seconds. Perfect. It's the best time to register. That's what I like to see.
Definitely
More
did see him register in the last 10 seconds.
best time to get in there. Let's keep on refreshing as Rune is still building the deck here. Let's see here. That
Maybe
going
we jump
on.
to another game.
We could. I mean, I'm sure some people have started already.
Maybe we can watch Insane's game, considering they spoke in the chat.
Yeah, table four. Let's just go ahead and head over there. Table four it is. They are deciding on mana, it looks like, because we loading the game art. As soon as that's ready, we'll switch on over for everyone to take a look at the first game of this AWOL Season 4 Wednesday Weekly number 4. 4 here today. I again once am Blue, joined by in their AWOL Weekly debut, Zargan. Um, was on the Worlds Cast. How did you enjoy that? Was it fun jumping in
It
there?
was
And
fun. Like, I did a cast of, Chile's Thursday tournament before
Mhm.
that. It was the first time I ever cast. But I've always wanted to, sort of thing, and then getting the opportunity to do it was a ton of fun. Very different experience doing it sort of like in person, having to sort of watch the games over a camera rather than being able to, like, click around on BGA.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, honestly, a great experience.
Okay, Rootfolk got it exactly when we switched off. Well, too bad. You waited too long. We'll have to see later on. Either way, we do get a game going on here. Sigismar versus Trace. Who needs to see new heroes? Not us. We're gonna watch to see which of these powerhouses can take it. We're gonna see a good start here from the Trace with the Killing Elemental and the Axiom Salvager rare. Gonna be able to get that out here immediately, and a Gift of Self coming out here for the Sigismar player. Gonna get an additional draw here. I assume this is gonna go on the token, but I guess they could surprise us and go for
Yeah.
the Bumblebee.
Yeah, they kind of had to do it on the token. Otherwise, you're not going to get any value from the Bumblebee later. I did see in the chat that Insane said they're running Trace no unique, which I know
Mm.
they've done in a few tournaments, which are allowed uniques. But I kind of feel like Trace is really good in the way that you could run no uniques and do pretty well.
Yeah, I feel like it's a type of hero that you have a lot of flexibility with as it
Yeah.
pertains to uniques. A lot of the times, it feels like the uniques that you see in certain Trace decks are just nice rares kind of thing, some variation of a nice rare and doesn't do anything too crazy. Granted, there are some really crazy ones, don't get me wrong,
Mm.
but they're not in every single Trace unique that you see do well. So definitely could see how that could turn out. But they start off pretty strong here, especially against the Sigismar player here with a 2-0 who had to give up that token and the advance in order to get some card draw.
Cool. And they grade Haven down, which allows them now to use Frankenstein on the Haven if they want to. I obviously would prefer to have the restocking stations, be able to remove the fleeting, which is a really fun loop to get in place. But really good start. Obviously, Jack Frost comes down and exhausts the Frankenstein, but still able to get activations on the Traced, which is kind of the main goal this early on in the game.
Yeah, so they are going to opt for just the kill an elemental here, get the counter on the board, getting the resupply from the Gibble support ability, having a hooked in the reserve. At this point, we could see some play from the Sigismar player. It would be nice if they had a teamwork training potentially for removal to kind of counter the previous 2-0, but it does look like they are just going to save the resources that they do have and be fine with the one for one. The thing that they definitely have to worry about, though, is the more they just go with parity on the board and keep that 2-0 deficit, the more likely, especially once Trace gets online, that it's just going to be too much of a deficit to come back from potentially. So we'll have to see what the Sigismar can pull out here. I'd have to imagine it'll have to be within the next day or two to see what they can figure out. But maybe they were able to pull a card earlier on due to that gift of self.
Yeah, luckily the Sigismar should probably Jack Frost into the Frankenstein now, sort of preventing the Trace from getting to 5 this turn unless they have any more Keylon Elementals or other cards. Oh, another Jack Frost.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because I've actually since Worlds been trying to play Traced more because like one of my biggest
Oof.
personal nice play. One of my biggest sort of personal weaknesses, I would say, was not really trying out all the decks and being
Mhm.
like in two factions. And Trace is a lot of fun. Like
Yeah.
really, like you said, very flexible. And you feel like, especially in this case, like we are saying, being ahead and close to the activation, it's like you're in a really, really great spot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's I mean, you see a lot of different, like, variations and different cards that you can play with Traced, and I do like the idea that you mentioned earlier that it's not a necessity to play certain uniques with Trace, right? And you can have some variation on how you wanna set things up. And with, like, out on the board, we know that there is a possibility of seeing that Dr. Frankenstein come out here, so the Sigsmar is going to opt to throw that 3/3/3 Bumblebee out to have something stay up on the board, and it runs into a Grims off the resupply, so we won't see the 5th counter come from the Trace today, but looking pretty good for the following day. One of the things I did notice here with the Sigismar is the consistent use of the Jack Frost. Talking to some players that played in Worlds as far as using Jack Frost or other rares, I know I just talked to Rinku recently. Shout out to my YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe, watch the new video today. More of a fan of the one cost Ugly Duckling rares as far
Yes.
as being able to play that over the Jack Frost. Do you have any opinions on that?
So I've played both in my Sega Smart deck, but I have leaned a lot more into sort of the Ascend mechanic. I
Mhm,
think the Ascend mechanic is really, really, really good, especially on Sigismar because of the fact that there's a lot of times where you get close. Your token obviously helps you with having one already on the side that you ascend. I've been playing a sort of version of the deck with Skybound Odyssey,
mhm,
which can be interesting because you play have to suddenly play more higher mana characters than you used to play. So sometimes you don't have the best like two moves on turn one, but you sort of catch up later. So it kind of feels like a whole different way of playing Sigismar. But yeah, I have always played Jack Frost rare, and then the Sandman rare as well. So once you bring the ugly duckling in, obviously it gets a bit difficult to figure out the way you want to do your rares per se. But I think they sort of all have a place. I think the duckling, which I know Rinku agrees with this, is amazing card. It's just so flexible in that it can sort of cost one, it can cost two, and the different like mechanics it has. It's honestly like probably one of the best Sigma Small cards of the new set, at least.
yeah, it feels like the new set is one that I think that and they did mention this, separately as far as on the Discord recently when people were speaking about when is Sigismar gonna get a nerf, blah, 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 kinda stuff. But Sigismar is always gonna be the type of hero where they make cards for other heroes. and Sigismar finds a better way to use those cards, right? We've had it in a variety of different ways, whether it's things like what are we talking about? Rallying Call, for
Yes.
example. I mean, Premier Sigismar card. I'm sure the original intention was potentially to use it for Waru. Guess what? Too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, we do see a license withdrawal hit the board. Um, and then also we get an immediate response here with another landmark in the Aerolith Reef. Um, at the moment, I think it's just going to be a situation where the Sigismar just fell too far behind, and I don't know if they're going to be able to have the necessary cards and mana in order to catch up on that initial deficit that we saw on day one.
Yeah, I think the thing with Trace in general is obviously you think about like a lot of the uniques that Sigismar decks run, they typically run like card draw. And Trace, because of that, the hero ability sort of has built-in card draw in a way, even though it's not obviously draw to your hand. But in general, if I'm playing Sigismund into Trace, I have to get ahead early. Like otherwise, I feel like it's lost unless they draw badly. But in this case, Insane seems to be getting sort of the right cards. Yeah, with a double movement again. So kind of looking really, really good for Trace. Yeah, I'm not sure the Sigismund can do much at this point.
Unless Insane decides to disconnect here, potentially, and, get timed out, really quick. Maybe they're just taking a
Yeah,
quick break here.
maybe.
You get freeze. Yeah, I was wondering what happened to you. You just wanted to jump into the chat real quick, Insane, before, playing, in general? Just wanted to make sure everything was good in here. You're doing really well, and just keep at it, and, enjoy your time. Feel free to play that Dr. Frankenstein and go ahead and remove the Bumblebee or whatever you feel like doing.
I
I don't
think
know. Maybe you wanna
it's
just
frozen on your side.
yeah. Maybe you just wanna
VGA, doing VGA things.
yeah, maybe you just wanna throw a hooked, get a card draw. I'm not sure. The game is advanced? Okay, so it's on our fault. My bad.
Yeah.
Switch, and yeah, there we go.
Feel like these days I refresh VGA a lot.
Yeah, come on, BGA. Either way, we did get the advances there. One advance needed here for Insane. We get the Order Spy on the board, which, back in the day felt a lot better than it has recently for Sigismar. You feel like you have to have it just to have some type of active sabotage. But other than that, 3 costs for just a 2/2/2 and sabotage, ouch, right? Like, I'm almost happy when I'm playing against the Sigismar and I see them play a spy, right?
Yeah.
Like, sure, you know what? You got me. Go ahead, pick a card, any card.
No, I'm exactly the same. I agree completely. It doesn't feel, and it's strange how obviously like the cards have changed as we moved on in sets, but nothing has changed with the card, but it just really doesn't feel great anymore. It feels like not a great trade in general, unless you're getting rid of a unique that's in reserve. That is sort of like if you think about Perma Anchor for Muna. Otherwise, generally, it just doesn't feel great.
Yeah. We do see a unique Resentful Robin hit the board, where it is when another non token character joins your expeditions. If I'm facing a character, you may have target character other than me gain 1 boost and an arrow effect of if you have 6 or more mana orbs, create Norris Recruit Soldier token in your companion expedition, all for 2 costs on both hand and reserve and a 1/1/1 stat line. Not too bad.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like a cuckoo. Well, no, I guess not a cuckoo, but you're able to sort of spread the boost, which is really nice between the different tokens and stuff.
Mm. And
And obviously, with the 2 cost from hand or reserve is obviously nice to have as well.
yeah, not quite a token generator that we saw a
No.
lot from Beyond the Gates, but still pretty interesting as far as a new set type of unique. I feel like a lot of players have enjoyed the most recent set as far as new uniques that they've introduced and the different type of conditions that they can bring about, especially the 6 mana restriction
Mhm.
coming from these recent uniques that are it's pretty fun, a little bit different than the 8 mana setup, but almost seems a little bit better in the sense of just feeling more comfortable with it. I never really felt comfortable with certain 8 mana restrictions, but having some type of 6 mana one, pretty fun. All that to be said, Insane gets the single advance with a nice little Amelia Earhart play and is able to maintain the lead the entire time and get the victory. over the Sigismar player.
Nice. That was quite a one-sided game, but I feel like it was we kind of saw that early up front, unfortunately.
Yeah, they risked it trying to get the biscuit for that additional draw. The only other thing that they could have possibly done is sacrifice that Bumblebee that they wouldn't have been able to
Yeah.
play later and just gone for the one for one, which may have been better, but I'm sure also didn't feel too good. We did see Runefolk lose already in game
Oh,
one.
wow.
What happened, Rune? Did you just
Nearly
not run
neat
into what you
game.
needed? Um, Other than that, let's see what else we have going here. Only 2 games left, so let's go ahead and jump into, table 8. This has the least
Yep.
amount of percentage left here with Zarkasm, probably one of the best BGA names that we've had, be developed versus Gus the Bus. Switching over to the gameplay, we have a Moyo versus a Finn, and they are dead even, so nice little spot to run into.
Interesting. And has 2 Parliament of Ashes, which is obviously helpful into Moyle. And yeah, we have the Winter Nova coming out to sort of exhaust both cards in reserve, which leaves the Fen with 2 cards left to play out. But obviously 11 mana, so it'll be interesting to see what they have.
Yeah, see if they have any way to produce more cards, whether it be through card draw or resupply, which is always an option, especially with certain fin decks, I'd have to imagine, where can be a good amount of resupply setup.
Yeah,
Um, Lyra in general seems to have a lot of resupply setup, whether it's through uniques or something along those lines. We did get to see the fun um, resupply decks in the world's venue, being
mm,
able to be played and everything along that line. So we know they exist. Question is, what will the Finn do here in response to the Winter Nova? At the moment, looking pretty good for the Moyo, and they pass. Doesn't look like they had anything.
yeah. GG's in the chat.
GG's. You got double ramped into Hydra that Subash can't even remove. Unfortunate. Those darn Hydras. Did you think about banning that deck, Runefolk? This is Conquest, right? Why didn't you just ban it? Come on. Everyone knows you gotta ban the Hydras. Either way, Moyo takes the victory there. Switch on back. See if that last game is still going, or if we're gonna head straight into round 2. And it is still going here. Table 2. See if we can catch the very end of that game. Gameplay. Talk about cards in reserve.
Navenka sitting with only 1 card in hand, and the Israel players, their whole reserve full of
We
what?
do have a Dragon Shade on the board too. Don't get to see
Yeah,
those very often.
I'd love to know how we got into this spot.
It's the new Issery tech. Just finally taking advantage of those Trial by Frost Dragon Shades.
Interesting. All 3 uniques for Israel on the board, and all say something along the lines of when you play a permanent resupply with some condition.
Yeah, despite all the stuff on the board, um, they're not able to just block things out quite yet, and then they are able to get that final bug out. They'll be able to produce another one here with another support ability, which should give them the option to double advance as well. And they're just going to keep on cost reducing here in order to get some of these permanents out as well. Um, who needs to play from your hand when you just play from your reserve, right?
Yeah, it is kind of wild that sometimes happens where people just don't even worry about their hand at that point. And now they've resupplied into the Munadrid so they could anchor the 3rd unique. So they have all 3 uniques for next round as well.
Yeah, and they have cost reduction as well, so technically they could play one of the permanents. And then they're gonna keep on doing stuff here thanks to the unique. So is this gonna just be a constant thing? And if he plays Podgy, he can generate 50 Aerolith to start next turn with all of the deck in reserve. Okay. So this is what you were talking about with Juan. All right. Um, so Navenka was trying to play the old Navenka ways of get ahead early and try
Yeah.
to end the game before your opponent gets online. Unfortunately for this Navenka player, it does in fact look like Juan managed to get online here.
These infinite combos are always interesting to see because it's kind of like, when do you stop playing cards? I assume they're trying to get all the characters off Navenka's side as well, so that they're all discarded with the Arrowleaf Reef.
Yeah. Rare Aerolith Reef, not a card that I expected to see in a lot of situations, but, why not? You're gonna sacrifice it, it gets the resupply, right?
That is so interesting. And then we have the pass. Oh,
Finally.
they anchored the shade as well. So they have a 5/5/5 on that side. Perfect side to block out the Sandman as well if it had to come out that side. There
Resupply
goes.
here.
This is wild.
It's time to get some set up here. Oh, another reef. Nice. All right. Well, gonna draw some cards finally here for one on this replayer instead of resupplying. Must be a nice change of pace. Gonna go and straight to mana. And we'll see what Navenka can do here. I don't know if there is much they can do, but they're going to start off with at least picking up the Sandman.
Yeah, I don't think they have a lot of choices, yeah, unfortunately.
Get the third unique on the board. I'm just going to read all these off for everyone here. It's a 2-1 Axiom Salvager when you play a permanent. If you control two or more landmarks, resupply. And then 2-1 again, you play a permanent, resupply. And then 1-2, when you play a permanent, you may sacrifice a character or permanent. If you do, resupply. So, in case
Those are
if you were
cool.
unsure what he's trying to do, he's trying to resupply. They also have all support abilities. Target character of the enemy loses fleeting, gains one boost, and character you play this turn. Ah, bummer. I thought they were gonna have some fun things like resupply or something under the support ability.
I love how the opponent says in the chat, "Bro, stop, my BGA is lagging." It's actually interesting. I was having a discussion with someone the other day about the ability to sort of draw your whole deck, and
Mm,
don't know what we actually call it because I've never done it. Put the your trash or your back into your deck. I know like some of the other card games. One of them is Riftbound, where they have like a mechanic to sort of give your opponent the advantage for having done that.
mhm.
So I think you get 1 point or you draw a card or something like that. And I wonder if that's something they ever thought about with Altered, but I also think they didn't probably expect infinite combos that we see at the moment.
I mean, I'm sure they expected some variation of it, right? Like, I mean, these card designers had to think of something. Is it the specific situations that we see now? Probably not, right?
Uh,
Um, but I mean, that's the fun of it, right?
yeah.
It these people finding different ways to make this kind of stuff happen. And the thing is, too, is they're not inherently broken either, right?
Mm,
Like it takes setup, it takes like actually trying to work things out and make things there. I mean, there's a reason why we haven't seen these decks like necessarily win a world championship,
yeah.
right? But they are fun. It's fun to see when they come up, in general, whether it be this type of setup here. We saw back in the day the Afanis setup where we had the constant like go through the entire deck, um, too. So uh, basically, more resupplying, cost reduction, small step, giant leap, small step, giant leap, blah 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 blah. Right, but yeah, there's a lot of it. Probably if Nadavinka wants to, they could just be done. One taking some thinking time here. Is a negative time though. Better watch out. One might get booted from the game. Although you do have 6 minutes before the round ends, so probably not.
Yeah, they probably would have been fine. I have found that a lot of folks who play the infinite combos or even like hostage have
Mhm.
got really good at playing them. That a lot of times when I jump into their games, they're ahead in time, and I'm like, how are you actually ahead in time in this game
Yeah.
with the amount of actions you've had to take?
This deck win the 5 side events at Worlds. What's which side events? I'm assuming not the sealed ones.
Yeah, I
Are
wonder
you
which ones they were. I
are
know
you
there were
d
like random ones that came up that you could
I
enter.
Yeah, I mean, I know there was, like, you could play some more, like, 1v1 side events, right? And
Mm.
I know there was boss events, and I know there was the lore event and stuff like that, but, um, forgot to put Grims in my sub ash deck. Building decks within 2 minutes might be a bit tricky. See, that's your problem, Rune. Should have, paid attention. Is there anything special about the sub ash deck, or are you just winging it because you're playing NA players? Not to say NA players aren't good, I think we both know that, huh?
Yeah, well,
Um
world champions NA, so
Yeah. He'll probably take credit for that too, since the rest of, their team is mostly EU, it seems like, but,
yeah.
let's see, uh, oh, the constructed side events? Nice.
Mm.
Yeah, I saw that there is potential for that, I just didn't know how many people are actually playing those events, to be honest, or just, like, how much room there was for them. Feel like I heard that there were people just playing, their own, like, limited, whether it's, like, draft or something,
Yeah.
in the meantime too, so it's a Baku list? Nice, Baku Subash.
Mm.
Alright, is it frozen? I did I is that what my problem
Yeah,
is?
they got frozen. We have round 2. No one has really started yet, but well, they're just starting, should I say.
Alright, so I'll switch on over then. Once again, I wanna thank everyone that has joined us thus far. You are watching the Altered Weekly Online League Season 4, Wednesday Weekly number 4. We've had a treat thus far. We have gotten to see a fun little deck there that resupplies a lot. And yeah, we may get to see some more. I haven't taken a look at all the players yet. But in the meantime, anyone you want to start off with?
Um, Maybe we watch Runefolk with the 2-minute deck that was just put together.
Rune Folk with the 2 minute deck. Did have some people drop already, even players that won their first match, so that's interesting. Let's see. Rune Folk started off with a round one loss, but probably because they were building their deck. And because they didn't ban the Hydra, but that's their fault.
Yes.
Either way, Savash versus Navinka. Is this the same Navinka we just came off of? I think it is.
I think it might have been, yeah. Yeah, the real, yeah.
Yeah, no worries, Juan. It's not your fault. It's BGA and us just not us yammering on instead of realizing that it's probably frozen and that you probably play faster than that. Um, Either way, we will get to see some boosts coming out here, and we'll have the Navenka come with a early potential 2-0 lead. No one, no one. Ooh, anchored too. That feels okay. No, it was fleeting already, so it feels really good actually.
Yeah.
We'll see if we'll see if Runefolk falls to the 0-2 after this game. Currently down 3 spots on the tumult. Gotta watch out, Rune. Yeah, you maybe taking too long as far as making your decks here for the Wednesday weekly. Joining last minute.
Need to start building them 10 minutes before.
Exactly. All right. They, I guess, still have the card advantage with having 4 cards in hand. The ability to utilize those permanents. Haven't seen a lot of I've been trying a Sierra deck that uses Abandoned Depot, but with the common,
Mm,
so that way it's the 3 costs. And
yeah.
it's been kind of fun. But we do get to see one of the Bakus that Rune mentioned, and it is a 4-2-1-3-3. When I go to the reserve from the expedition zone, target opponent discards a card from their hand. When you play a permanent, you may pay 1. If you do, robots you control, other than me, gain 1 boost. So you're trying to utilize those robots well, discarding stuff. I imagine they have the ability to remove fleeting in some capacity here, but maybe not. There's only 2 mana left. Might be difficult to do.
Yeah, they might have restocking station.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can think of, but, oh, sure enough, there it is.
There we go. Yeah, they're just gonna loop the Baku now. Honestly, like, having to discard cards from your hand is probably the most awkward play, like, the most awkward thing to play against, it's at least for me, and maybe it's just because of the decks I specifically play generally,
Yeah.
but it is so difficult to figure out, like, at some point, you typically don't mana to try and keep cards, and it can get really awkward.
Yeah, I feel like it was a bigger thing, in just Beyond the Gates before players
Mm,
started playing decks that drew, like, 20 cards kinda thing. I do think it is a bigger thing for the Navinka because they do play in a way that is pretty hyper aggressive and run low on resources, and hopefully they can just win the game.
yeah,
Type of setup. So we'll see if the advantage that they got this time will be enough, or if Rune will be able to make things work for them. They will be able to sabotage here potentially and leave them with only the cards that they're going to draw on the following day, which will make it interesting if they decide to mana or not. Because they are going to opt to just get the resupply instead of the sabotage on the trickster, feeling like that they can deal with it no matter what.
that's an interesting move.
Maybe saving the sabotage for another situation, seeing what else they can get in
Probably, yeah.
reserve. In the meantime, we will see a unique Copelia here. That is when I go to the reserve from the expedition zone, play it for free, gain sleep. At dusk, you may have target character other than me leaves fleeting. Okay, so it's essentially just keep on Bakuing. Oh, and they had a mechanical training. That's why they did the sabotage.
Yeah, that's why. So yeah, so they're just gonna Copelia and the Baku back and forth.
Yeah, so they're opting to keep the armor jammer here instead of the abandoned depot to just constantly have their opponent lose resources. And whereas they could have done the same thing and get the sabotage and then get a card draw, seems like the plan here is just don't let Navinka have anything. Um, so we'll see how that turns out. Another Baku play, which could just be fine here. Uh, get sent back to the reserve or card
Yeah.
discard.
Copelia is also just gonna come out again as well.
Yep. Mm.
Those are 2 great uniques to combine.
Yeah, you think this, Navinka has a small step?
Probably not.
Come on, just like a one of. You're playing the aggro deck, you just throw the one of. You were
I
up.
would love to see that because it would be a huge surprise, but
I mean, it would still work here. I mean,
it
make
would.
make it happen. But, yeah, I don't think they do, especially since they, aren't setting themselves up for it. Either way, at least they have 3 cards in hand now, AK 2. They
And they
actually
managed.
they need the mana. Um, but they're gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do with those 2 cards in hand because, at this point, even if they had a small step giant leap, probably still looking at Rune potentially 2-0ing here,
Yeah.
and, we'll see how that works out.
Oof.
Doctor Frankenstein to the reserve. Jesus.
What a combination. Frankenstein into the restocking station. You keep taking away fleeting on the Copelia as well.
I mean, at this point, they don't even need the restocking station with the
No,
Capelia too, right?
they
So
don't.
could use it for a sabotage if they need. If Navenka's gonna try to get tricky with something like a magical training or I mean Navenka magical training or Twinkle Twinkle, I don't know. Something that goes directly to reserve. Instead, we hit the Snowball Commando. Gonna try to hit a card here. Gonna hit the Frankenstein, but it's a one, so they have to exhaust one of the cards in reserve. Psych, they don't have anything.
We're gonna get the Baku out. I'm assuming the Navinka player will play out. Well, at this point, it's kind of just about winning. But if they were a little further away from the game in this state, you would obviously play out the card from your hand so that they can't discard again, and have them in your reserve instead.
Yeah,
But I
I
guess we'll
mean,
see what that last card is.
yeah, it's still pretty susceptible to sabotage, obviously, too.
Yeah,
So,
true. Yeah,
um, maybe not. We'll have to see. I feel like I'd almost prefer to let Rune try to sabotage
yeah.
than anything else, but they do hit the six. on the Snowball Commando, which is probably not what they wanted to hit. Probably wanted to get the individual stat. We do see a unique Shi Shiva. Is it Shiva? I think it's Shiva.
Yeah, I think Shiva.
Um, 3-3-2-2-1 from hand. You may discard a target permanent. If you don't, I gain 2 boosts. So they are going to hit that restocking station. And then from reserve, roll a die, then target character on 4+, it gains anchored. On 1 to 3, it gains asleep. So you'll still see the 2 though here for Runefolk on the Subash.
Yeah, and
Um,
then I suspect we'll have sabotage straight away.
yeah.
First player next turn.
Um, Snowball Commando in a good spot to at least try to block on the mountain. But don't know how successful they'll be in that. And Navenka will be stuck with just 2 cards if they decide not to mana, potentially 1 if they do. But I'm gonna go under the assumption here that we're gonna see no mana here from the Navenka.
I would
Ca-
think so.
call me crazy, but
I
think that's probably what we're looking at. Um,
think that's a pretty sure bet at this point, especially since you know you're going to lose the Shiva. Well, you probably are going to lose the Shiva.
um, so you think it was the right call for the Navenka to hit the restocking station over the armor jammer?
Considering you had no cards in hand and even taking away fleeting from the Baku wouldn't have done anything at that point because you weren't going to discard, I think it was probably to get rid of the Armor Jammer.
Yeah, especially since it couldn't have hit anything in reserve, right?
Yeah,
And it would have essentially given you another card to play today.
yeah.
So interesting choice here from the Navenka player. Blue is crazy. Yeah, I guess I could be considered clinically insane. I don't know. Armor Jammer effect does get procced here. Goodbye to the unique. 2 cards left here to play for the Navenka. You gotta feel bad for the Navenka. They got into 2 situations back to back where they were 1 advance away from taking the game, and then the opponent just finds a way to claw their way back and take the overall setup.
And they
We do
play this unique and they roll under 4 both times. That's
So,
rough.
yeah, Tinkerbell 3-4-2-4-3 stats. Anywhere effective roll a die 4+ sabotage, and effective roll a die 4+ up to 1 target character gains a sleep. And as you mentioned, not a good rule. But they do have a Sandman, that'll that'll get a sleep happening here and give them the option to lose in a different way.
So I guess it'd be interesting, yeah, to see if Runefolk can block both, well, move both sides, or if we're going to go to Arena. Kind of just depends whether it's a 1 mana card in hand.
Yeah, I mean, at least this way, it's technically good that he slept the, Baku, um, and so we'll, get a roll here of a 2, that'll put things to 7, so does Rune just lose?
Oh, wow.
He does, he didn't have the cards. Wow, just poor play by Runefolk, honestly.
Terrible play.
Just had everything and just threw it away. Even with low rolls from the Navenka player, just absolutely destroyed by Dereel in the
And
Navenka.
it's funny because the Novanka player said GG 2 minutes ago because they thought it was over. Or maybe they thought they were sure they were gonna win.
Yeah,
But I
obviously,
kind
they
of
they
feel like
they
I would have
saw the
felt the
u
opposite
they
way.
saw the unique and the Sandman, and they're like, "Obviously, I got this."
Yeah.
So we see Runefolk start off strong here with an 0-2, um, for this AWOL Season 4 Wednesday Weekly number 4. What else do we have going on here? We saw Juan before, so we know that game's gonna go a little bit. So how about, table 1?
Yep.
Switch on over to that. We do have a Sierra running the good old fashioned Nilum Withered Trees. I liked that card back in the day when it was coming around here for Sierra. Since then, I
Yeah.
have taken it out just to try some other things, but still a good card.
I feel like Sierra has better tech these days in general. Like I can still see why one would use the card sort of thing, but I feel like it's just a bit slow, like the current meta.
Yeah, I mean, it does its job, right? But it
Mm,
still feels like it's a situation of the same way that there's a difference between like 2 and 3 mana, there's a difference between 3 and 4 mana costs, right? It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot.
yeah,
Um,
it's a lot.
so we do get to see the Hive hit the board here. It is on a 8 mana turn, so probably not the ideal situation to have it in. We will see the activation of the Maw hit the board, see some sacrificing going on. I didn't see what the unique Ordis Cadets does. It's a reserve effect if you control one or more landmarks, create Norse recruit in target expedition, so nothing crazy, just kind of something that's there. And yeah, looks like we'll see a one for one for now, but still a lot of mana left here for the bottom player here of Lindaway and Maw.
Yeah, I feel like I don't see Lindaway as much as we used to. Or at least I haven't ran into Lindaway much on BGA the way I used to. Used
Yeah.
to always be a deck I struggled to play into. Um, and but I feel like lately when I do it doesn't feel that strong.
Yeah.
But this sort of seems to be going very well for them. I feel like it's probably also the same as talking about Nidia, like a difficult deck to master in terms of your ordering of all your plays and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think earlier on in like the first set or two, it was definitely a deck that was reminiscent to me of like a Finn deck where
Mm.
there's a lot of just like different things that you have to know about your deck and how you want to play it, and it can be good, but sometimes it can't be, and a little bit of back and forth there. And honestly, Lindaway's kind of been a hero that you feel like they're getting some kind of support, but then not really compared to everyone else. And so it's fell a little bit behind, in my opinion, from that perspective. Still a fun deck. The concept of sacrifice and everything is something that I think is cool, and hopefully it's something that is constantly built on the same way we've seen a lot of sacrifice mechanics pop up for Axiom, for example. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think it's a very unique mechanic, very different compared to playing the other decks and especially the aggro decks. So I agree. Like if they sort of support it more and we can see it more. I personally never played it, but what like obviously played against it and watched it in tournaments. But yeah, like you said, there's a lot of sort of sacrifice now with Israel and everything. So that mechanic is being supported. There's obviously just a few more cards needed for the
Yeah.
hero.
Looks like we'll have the Lindaway player decide to stack up on one side and try to just end this game as soon as possible, knowing that the Sierra player has minimal cards left to be able to play. We'll see if they're able to do anything with these final two cards. Going to start off strong though with a sacrifice, boost up the mall, a little bit of an after you see the final card from the Sierra and see if it's going to be enough to block this Lindaway player and send us to another day potentially.
Yeah, and I think this has a lot to do with the Sierra player only getting the Brassbug Hive down on 8 mana and not getting it early enough.
Yeah.
Sort of slowed them down.
Yeah, I mean, still got to hit 2 of, the Nilums, which
Mm.
was, I'm sure, nice, but, at the same time, if you can hit that Hive early, whether it's, on a 6 mana turn or even a, cost reduction day 3 setup, right? Um, or day 2 rather. No, day 3, for 5 mana, with the mechanic is nice as well, but either way, we do see the advance for the Lindaway player. That'll be the game. Congrats to them, and should be wrapping up the second round here fairly soon, I imagine.
Yeah, we have
So,
2 games still.
imagine Juan's still playing out of
Yeah.
the reserve. Yeah, of
Yep.
course. Let's head to table 7 then.
Yep.
Might just be wrapping up, but we can still take a look. It is in fact wrapping up. Sigma able to take the victory over the Soul. Soul playing a little bit of a deck here that is using airlifts. Could be fun. We'll have to take a look at
It's
maybe,
interesting.
yeah, maybe a little bit later to see how that is being played. But in the meantime, we do see the Sigismar able to take that victory. And they're going to decide that. And we'll head on back. In case y'all didn't have enough of a lot of resupply, um, we're gonna we're gonna let you watch a little bit more.
And watch the infinite loop more.
A little bit of extra here. And they are playing another Navinka player too. This constant Navinka exposure here. Oh,
I
see,
think
exhaust.
yeah,
Maybe able to stop some stuff.
I think is also playing Eris, which is a funny card because I played a game in the last chance qualifier where I played an Eris trying to win the game and
Mhm,
ended up rolling low and not moving. And I
mhm.
honestly feel like I was probably in a bad spot in the game, and if they didn't play the Eris and had other cards, they probably would have won it out. And then they tried to roll again the next turn, and ended up just rolling midway and sort of just moved normally. But it was funny. I was calling them the gambler by the end of the game.
Got a little too greedy.
Yep.
Could have one of these days we'll get to see Eris play on top of, I don't know, what's what's the magical sleigh?
Oh,
See
I'm
the
blank.
see the token move really fast across the screen potentially
Yeah,
one
yeah.
day.
Magic Slayer, and I think you can do it. Eat Me energy bars as well, right?
Yeah, just zoom, 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 zoom. Then
Yeah,
probably unique in there too, right?
yeah.
Um, someone really abuse it. The like, "Oh, we're fine. We'll just give up one expedition unless."
That's a really fun card.
But Navank is still deciding on what they want to do here. They do have a little bit of cost reduction with the Inkcaster potentially, but 3 mana here as a whole. And they are dealing with what is known as a really full reserve here. Who needs to draw cards when you just let them throw on your board, right? So this will be fun to see in person, just to have everything out on the board. Lyra Signet being played here, opting for the giving characters fleeting.
And I kind of feel like that's probably not yeah, I was gonna say they're gonna just use support abilities to anchor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kinda crazy. We watched 2 games with one, and both games have had all 3 uniques out.
I
Literally
mean,
getting combo.
yeah. Yeah, when you draw your entire deck to your reserve, I guess makes it pretty easy to find those uniques.
Yeah.
As long as you beat your opponent to the race of them not winning the game before you can find them, seems like you have a pretty good chance at winning. Sure. Just keep on resupplying. Cost reduction? Sure.
Why not?
Technically, Navinka could play a card here. I don't know how much it's going to actually help them, but at this point, you may as well, right? Like,
Yeah, 'cause you can't concede in tournament games, if I remember correctly, so you might as well play out a card.
just give it out there. Um, Cost reduction, sure. Counters, why not? Remove a fleeting, sure. Or just destroy. Resupply, yeah. Oh, there it is. There's
Oh,
the
the Dragon
hollow.
Train. Yeah,
Icebound hollow. Yeah. Honestly, I've seen these so little that I forget what they all do.
I know.
When when a card goes from your hand to or deck to your reserve. Okay, so it pretty much gets a trial counter in the same day that you play it,
Yep, pretty much.
and you can play it.
You can. Every Navinka rolls a 6 in this situation. Oh, no.
Just gotta keep that snowball commando out, man.
You just wanna stay out on the field.
So Helix is gonna have to pass here, and then, let Juan do some shenanigans. Insane giving the strat out in chat, so if anyone wants to play up against, Juan here, just all you have to do is join the stream, watch the chat, and be able to see the strat. That was a lot of rhyming, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought maybe they were looking for a Nazi. No, I don't think they have, any Nazis setups here. I have not seen one, at least.
Yeah, it's interesting that they aren't playing it. I guess they're not worried about it in general,
Maybe they
like
need
we're
the rare slot?
doing. Oh, yeah. That is probably why, considering they're playing Reef Rare
Yeah.
as well.
Looking for some more anchored. Good choice. So weird resupply.
Yeah.
More cost reduction, why not? Sure, why not?
This is my question about these loops is when do you stop? Is this until you get all the anchored? Yeah, I assume so.
I assume, yeah, he just wants to keep everything out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Okay.
could go away at the very least.
Yeah. Didn't use the restocking station. Big miss.
Just take off the you may as well, right? Like, who cares? Getting rid of the sap extractor. Keeping the icebound hollow, trying to set up the dragon.
Yep, guaranteed 555 at this point.
I feel like they had 2 cost reductions into a permanent if they wanted to
Yeah.
get that out anyway, but maybe I missed that. Most main thing is normally unique can activate only 100 times, but in this deck you can restocking station your unique and after refit to replay it so it's a new object with a new 100. Okay. Who
There's
wants
limits? Is that
Yeah,
like a
the
PGA limit or
there's technically a 100 effect loop on a
Ah,
on any individual card, but it has to be a continuous, like, loop effect, actually. If it's a separate instance, you can keep on replaying it. Um, so, if you stop the chain, essentially, you can
yeah.
keep on playing it, so but yeah, essentially, there's 100, the same way that back in the day on, like, the, Beyond the Gate sets with those, foundry armors that
Mm,
could produce brass bugs. Essentially, you can only produce 100 of them, just in
interesting.
case you needed 200
Yeah,
instead.
learn something new every day.
So, um, some uniques on the board. Um, triplets to be exact. Same guy just hanging out, different stats. Uh, but I mean, could have a situation here where Eris gets a a double advance, right? Happen.
Please let this go down to Eris rolling. That'll be amazing.
Just don't just you have the win, Juan. Just pretend like the Eris doesn't exist. You have the win. Pass. You can pass. Come on, pass.
Ooh, yeah, we have the roll as well. Ooh,
Of course. Who do you target? Oh, I didn't target the Eris?
I
Lame.
know.
If you're gonna roll, you may as well target the Eris in that situation,
Yeah.
right? Come on. Have faith. You've been hitting sixes nonstop. You assume you're gonna hit a six. Um, Okay, keeping the heater instead of cost reduction. Gotta be cost reduction on this one, right? Oh, no, keeping the alright. Oh, because they need the play permanents to resupply. I keep
Yeah, yeah,
forgetting.
yeah,
I was like, cost reduction, obviously, but no, you gotta keep the permanent.
yeah, all the permanents.
And dragon.
Very quick dragon.
Yeah, 4 counters, 5 counter dragon. Do you get 2 dragons if you hit 6?
Imagine.
Alright. Brass bug it up. Alright, you have enough permanents at this point. Yeah, cost reduction. Come on. Yeah.
Mm,
We got someone in chat saying something. Heard something. Maybe you need to play the 50-50 to don't lose at at the time. Yeah, play the 50-50. Come on.
yeah, please do it.
Come on, Juan. You won't. You won't. Do it. Do it.
Not gonna end every round with this game, with this deck.
Come on, Juan. Do it. Nope. It's gonna gibble. Lame. Aha! Spy. Tap extractor. That's not gonna do anything. I mean, he could be watching the clock, but at this point, he, he's still fine. Already got the what he needs stat wise.
Um,
That's gonna pass. But we do get to see an Eris roll, right? Or does it just stop?
no, because it didn't move forward. No
Oh, that's
roll.
right. I blocked. Never mind. JK.
Yeah,
Oh, you gotta ruin the
unfortunately.
fun, Juan. Come on, let him advance at least. All right. Well, into round two. Heading on back. Once again, want to thank everyone that has joined us thus far for the Altered Weekly Online League Season 4, Wednesday Weekly number 4. I, once again, am Blue. Feel free to subscribe to me on Blue Oak TV. Release a video every Wednesday unless I am dead. Argon, what's up?
Hey, yeah, thanks everyone for joining. I'm Argon. I'm really only on Twitch, which is under Argon TCG. The O in Argon is a 0.
Mhm.
And I should be posting in sort of the altered Discord when I stream and stuff like that, trying to stream a little bit more these days. And I think a bunch of us are planning sort of like a big stream night next week for the end of the Game Found campaign.
Mhm.
So hopefully we should get a bunch of folks on Twitch at the same time
Yeah.
to give a little bit of exposure to the game.
Yeah, definitely could boost up those numbers on the altered category. Should be cool to see. For round three, don't believe we've seen table three yet.
No, we
So
have not.
let's go ahead and head on over there. Definitely don't want to watch that Runefolk guy go 0 and 3. Ooh, a nice little Ysmir matchup between Akesha and Moyle. The Suha has definitely been a card that has been quite usable between both Bravos and haven't seen it necessarily with Ysmir, but at least Bravos has been using it.
Yeah, I've seen it a little more with Izmir lately, but I use it in my Basira deck. I think the card's amazing. It kind of actually someone said this to me in a game in the No Unique tournament last week that it's kind of like a unique,
Mm,
but not. But yeah, I think it's really really good, especially if you're able to sort of remove fleeting from it
right.
and continuously loop it like Bravos' own little infinite loop in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's really, really good card and really sort of flexible as well. Sometimes the one in Forest can really help as well, strangely enough.
Yeah. And plus just having that one cost character can just help you out regardless. We do have one cost being played of their own here on the Moyo side of things. Be interesting to see what the Moyo is playing from this deck. We did see a Signet being played here on the previous day. 3 mana left to go here. We'll have to see how the Akesha will be approaching this setup. They are currently down or ahead, I'd rather, against the Moyo. Um, and they are going to throw out the Suha.
Basically just using the sewer as a after you, I guess, to see what's going to happen and then be able to play more into whichever side they go.
And we do get to see a unique version of the Leviathan Spotter. You may reveal a spell with hand costs 4 or more from your hand. If you do, create a mana moth in your hero expedition. So, yeah, I mean, it produces a solid amount of stats for 3, and did happen to have the spell in order to be able to present that. But we will see the Calatrius come up on the board. Go and remove that token automatically, and it's just going to be a 1 for 1.
There's also another really, really good card. Same sort of as Suha being able to be played sort of next turn as a one mana after you, but with much better stats.
Yeah. It's essentially pretty close to what everyone was valuing really a lot on the Ortis side of things of a Ortis Trooper in a rare
Yeah.
version, right? Um, Missing that one mountain stat, but for a common placement, you know what? I'll take it.
Yeah, no, it's a great card.
So we'll see how this one turns out. A little bit different pace of play and different types of decks than we have seen thus far in the tournament. Really, what this game is lacking, based off of what I've seen thus far, is more cards in reserve, and as well as landmarks. Like the cards being shown on the board at the moment, extremely lacking. I expect more from both these field players.
Yeah, the field looks very bare at the moment
Yeah,
compared to our prior game.
yeah. Could ask for more, and even you know what, removing even more here with the sabotage. Like, what's up with that? But probably good for the Kesha player. We'll see what the Moyo can respond with. Does have 4 mana to work with here, so if they have something they want to play, this may be a spot to do it. We'll have to figure out if they in fact do. And yep, sure enough, it is a rare Conjuring Seal. I assume it is the one that was shown earlier. Um,
Yeah.
which of course will let you draw 3 cards. But realistically, I'm not sure why anyone would play the rare Conjuring Seal when the common actually lets you draw 3 cards as well, you know?
Hmm.
Especially if no one's paying attention.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely haven't seen that happen on a stream or anything. Either way, we do get to see a card that is no longer allowed in Ortis, Baba Yaga being played, just trying to secure the companion zone at the moment. Seems like Akesha is going to be fine here with going for the 1 for 1 and then just dealing with all the cards that the Moyo has later on. Hopefully, trying to take advantage of what they have on the tumult as far as the lead and see what they can set up. Gonna see both cards go to reserve. I imagine we're gonna get rid of that Tooth Fairy. Yeah, no reason to play a common Tooth Fairy from reserve. Can't think of many things that feel worse other than potentially playing Amelia Earhart from hand.
And I'm very interested, and I always feel like this when I play against Moyo, is, like, waiting to see what sort of deck they're playing. Um, you always when they draw a lot of cards, you're like, "Wait, could this be some form of hostage?" It's always like this, hold your breath and wait and see what happens.
Yeah, we are kind of at that breaking point
Yeah.
on a 6 mana turn where we could definitely see the Moyo kind of tip their hand a little bit and see what kind of Moyo they are playing. Um, and oh, just gonna see a Signet for now. Common variety, see what they decide to do. Assume oh, they're gonna sabotage. They don't wanna deal with that Baba Yaga. Interesting.
That kinda makes me think it's not hostage.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Otherwise, they're like, "Sure, play a character. I'm fine with it."
yeah, yeah, they would just want the draw then. But yeah, they clearly worried about stats by the stuff that they're getting rid of, in general, and don't wanna fall too far behind.
Yeah.
Maybe if they are playing hostage, just don't have the cards in that they need at the moment, or, like, struggling to get those, so they're going the route of trying to slow down the game as much as possible.
That should be interesting. Their reserve at this point is definitely gonna overflow. Oh, nope, they do have cost reduction here, um, with the Studious Acolyte, but, not gonna be helpful at the moment unless they have some other way to get another card out here. Good enough for the 1 for 1, though. 111 rather, and we'll see what we see played. 1 cost, slow play for the Kesha, probably a smart one. It is only 1 stat there in the individual forest, but feeling okay with that. And we'll get the Acolyte coming out again, so, um, I think that's probably the only characters they have based off of what you're talking about earlier with the sabotage.
And this is interesting now with the Baku. What card did they get rid of?
Undine, interesting.
Mean. Hmm.
So that card advantage that Moya was able to get on the previous day kind of just disappears after that day. They hit absolutely nothing that they needed, it seems like. Or had to give up an expedition advance as well. And now we're down 2 spots on the tumult. Not looking ideal for them at the moment, with resources being dead even between both of these Yuzmir heroes.
Yeah, I think the only saving grace is that they have 2 of the acolytes that they could play out for cheap and then play some larger spells for cheap if they have them in hand, I guess is the question in general.
We'll see. One lucky thing for them is that that's not a rare Baku, so they won't see another card getting discarded from hand, at least. But they are going to start it off with both of those acolytes again, and we may be looking at a pretty big spell being played here potentially with 5 mana. And Kesha's fine with it. They'll do a little bit of slow play and see if that's what actually happens here with the Moyo.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they have in hand. There's obviously a good spot in terms of being able to play something out, get the moth that you get from playing out the larger spell. Should be able to play out 2 minimum. Well, I guess you wouldn't be able to play out 3, so 2 minimum spells, yeah. Um, I don't play a spell.
Oh, I'm just playing the Mothbreeder. Um, yeah, I guess they just must not be running into the spells that they were trying to set up here. Because like every single time I see the acolytes come out, I'm assuming something's going to be played, but it's not. We do see a unique winged monkey. From hand, you may discard a card from reserve. If you do, target opponent discards a card from their hand, and then target opponent discards a card from their hand. So double.
Gosh.
So what did they just discard? It's a acolyte and a loss in the riptide.
Yes.
Well, a discard Akesha was not in the books for me, but you know, that's what we got.
Trying to figure out why they didn't play the Lost in the Riptide Lost first. 'Cause they would have played it for 2 mana. There was a character, I guess it was only the Disciple that was sitting in water. I guess it's obviously with the benefit of hindsight and knowing that they're about to make you discard 2 cards, but
Yeah, can't really assume that they have a double discard unique ready to go. um, Especially after only seeing a common Baku, like, oh, maybe it's just small tech that they decided to add there. Nope, unique surprise.
yep, and now you're in a bad spot. Didn't mana for the 8th. You can try and keep cards. I'm assuming the Akesha probably has more discard. Well, I guess they would have played it out there.
You sacrifice a character or permanent. I gain 1 boost from hand if you control it. If your companion expedition is behind, create an aerolith token and target players' landmarks. So companion expedition was not behind, so it's essentially just for the stats here for this Bessie Coleman.
Hmm.
And only 2 mana left, so I don't know if they even have anything here that is going to be super useful. I mean, I assume since they kept both cards that they can play both, but maybe not, and they just were trying to keep resources, like you mentioned.
Yeah, it's really rough with sort of where the zones are lining up as well with the forest on the companion side. Would have helped probably if they were behind and got the Arrow token, but I guess then you'd be in a worse spot as well, and Acacia is able to sort of slow play.
Off You Go does hit the board. So weird to see a studious disciple getting targeted by an Off You Go, by the way. Like, oh yeah, get that guy out of here. I just can't deal with it right now. Um, which is I'm sure Kesha is fine with here, especially with 6 mana left. They you feel like they have to have something, even with only 2 cards in hand, that they can figure out on what to do. They throw down a unique Month Legat, has the usual effect, and then from anywhere you may put a card from your hand in reserve. If you do, up to 1 target character gains fleeting, and it doesn't. So, he's gonna give up the double advance here. That's a surprise. Um,
I know they can sabotage now, but they could have given the fleeting to the unique and sabotaged the off you go.
yeah, I'm not sure what they have in hand. Maybe it's something they definitely wanna hold on to.
Yeah, yeah, it must be.
Um, but yeah, leaving with the Moya with less resources, but still doesn't feel good to give up that 2-0, especially when you have a 6 mana advantage and you know your opponent can't play anything. But it's so weird seeing this matchup here of 2 Ysmir players running low on cards in hand.
Yeah.
Um, but we do see a Moth to a Spring being played. Moyo finally running into a spell that they can play. Um,
And this is great because they get the card draw as well. So it helps them out, get 2 1 moth on each side.
Probably an ideal draw here for them. So we'll see what we got going here. And then sure
Yeah.
enough, the hunger hits the board here for the Akesha. Still 1 mana left. So
I'm assuming this is the card they didn't want to put into reserve.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Indeed. So they go 1 for 1 though. All things considered, I'm sure Moyo is okay-ish with it. Um,
That's my problem. Well, I guess not problem, but my thing with hunger and being behind, it always feels terrible to play when you're behind unless you're sitting on like 12, 13 mana, because of the fact that you're most likely to just 1 for 1.
I mean, it felt good in this situation because they were able to remove basically all the resources the Moyo had at this point, right?
Yeah.
Um, Moyo does decide to mana though, so that must be a hell of a card that they have in hand. Has to be something big, right?
Winter Nova.
Yeah. So we're gonna see some moths. What else are they gonna play though from this Nova?
Just
Okay,
moths, maybe?
could be.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that may be all they need to be honest. It's gonna be hard to catch all these stats unless they have another hunger ready. It doesn't look like that's the case. So despite everything, it looks like the Moyo might be able to take this one.
Yeah, maybe. I guess it depends what the Acacia drew. Yeah, obviously the hunger. Playing out the hunger, they must have a 1 mana in hand.
Yeah. Still not
Wow.
gonna be enough though.
Not enough, yeah.
So the Kesha ends up not drawing the cards that they need, despite seeming like they had the advantage there on the past few days. And we'll see the Moyo victory, even though they didn't really hit anything that they needed earlier on. So quite an interesting game there. Here in this round 3 of the AWOL Weekly number 4 on a Wednesday. Let's see what other games that we have going on. One is still going on table 1. Shocker. Um, I don't know. What do we wanna look at? You got a preference?
Mm, I know we saw Helix on table 4 earlier, but I don't know if we've seen the other player whose name I cannot pronounce.
I'm just gonna say
Trump?
Shrumpf. Shrumpf? I don't know. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Let's take it. Table 4.
Yeah. I feel like we're seeing a lot of the same heroes.
Well, I know we saw Helix before on the Navenka, so we
Yeah,
knew that was coming. We do have 2 uniques on for the, sorry, for Shrumpf. Um, what are they doing? Drill Mole, 2 reserve effects, spin to counter, sabotage, 2 landmarks, resupply, okay, nothing crazy. Smoldering Gin, cool unique art. When I leave the expedition zone, mana ramp, and at dusk, if you control a token, create 2 aerolith tokens in your landmark zone. So a little bit of a blue cap setup there too, potentially. So we'll see how that works out. Maybe it's a true SRE Aerolith deck, actually trying to utilize Aerolith instead of other landmarks and go infinite like some people do.
Seen a lot of people these days looking for this sort of ramp cards, the smoldering gin with an axiom. So interested, like I actually saw folks looking for very specific ones with specific stats and stuff. So I can see a lot more axiom ramping coming up. Um, but in this case, this obviously gets the ramp plus you get the Arrowlet tokens, which is obviously great for Israel.
Yep. And they do have another one there, it looks like. Let me see if they
Mm.
decide to keep that or the Inari for the support ability. They do decide to get rid of it. It is from reserve ramp and from anywhere if you control two or more landmarks sabotage. Okay. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, they're really great suited uniques to Israel. Good to see.
We are at a point though where it can go either way. I assume we're going to see a Navinka roll here. Anything but a one should be okay.
Ooh, a 4.
It's a rare four. Been seeing
Yeah.
sixes or nothing lately. So that will be enough stats to block on the hero side. They definitely can still play the what they have in reserve just to stat up and go to a tiebreaker. Probably not what that card was intentionally initially used for. Probably more so for the reserve ability. I mean, for the support ability, but
Mm.
still good stats for two. They decide they wanted to play it, and that's what they will. So looks like we're going to a little bit of a arena.
Our first arena tonight is exciting.
Yeah, it looks like it could be advantage to this RE,
Yeah.
because they do have the bug out and ready. Still, I guess more characters available to the Navinka, but I guess it's just going to depend on the draw here, and see what they both get. Navinka is down one mana. A lot of Navinkas played low to the ground though, so not too surprising.
Yeah.
Um, More than likely, I can't imagine we'll be seeing that Sandman from reserve being played again unless they have something like a sleight of hand that would be useful to pick it up and hit one of the characters. But we'll see if that is the case. They do decide to mana. Interesting. So I'll be curious
Like,
to see what they're able to do with that.
yeah, I feel like it's gonna be interesting because you have the Navinka sitting with nothing in forest on both those in reserve, and then you also have a lack of forest on the other side as well. But obviously the bug is doing a lot of work in forest in general.
Mhm. So you're going to see another resupply. Just dig in to see what they can find here. Gonna opt for a little bit of a slow play here in the frozen delivery. S- They're doing good resupply, but they're not doing it the right way where they fill up their entire reserve with
Yeah.
50 cards. That's their problem, I think.
I'm surprised we have so few cards in reserve in a Axiom matchup.
Seriously, why does the Lyra hero have more cards in reserve? Kind of shit is this? But we'll see if the Navinka player was able to draw anything good off of that magical training.
I almost bet when we leave this game, Juan's game will still be going on with the infinite combo.
More than likely. We do see a snowball commando. Interesting. So with that, one of their cards will get hit. I imagine it will be the Daedalus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it depends on what the Navinka has in hand.
Definitely the Grams, right? Has to be.
Yeah, you feel like it has to be. Be able to stat up here a little bit. but this may be their last play. Like, I don't know if they'll have anything for 1, so they may be stuck with whatever stats they are able to pull out here.
Still feel
Especially
like they're gonna be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, no, for sure, especially since it seems like the Navinka was kinda drawing on empty with just that magical training. I feel like they had the commando and the magical training in
Yeah.
hand, right? And so whatever they have in hand currently is just whatever random thing they hit with the magical training, which may not be enough.
Yeah, it's difficult because of how the stats are spread on the Israel side that removal is not really gonna help you in this case.
I'm gonna
You
re
kind of have to outstat. Maybe there's a unique oh,
Yeah, so I refreshed just because it looked like it was frozen, and, we do see the magical training, so they are digging for their life here. Only 3 mana left. I think the only thing that helps them here is maybe another Sandman, right?
yeah, another 4 roll.
They need to make up 5 stats, 2 spots here to just tie, which won't be enough, so I don't know many cards at 3 that are gonna help you here.
Nope. They are thinking though, or they're just slow playing.
Could have frozen again, I don't know.
It is a Sandman.
Yeah, this is from reserve, though.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't even see that originally. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah. If it was from hand, yeah, great, but no, just
Yeah.
from reserve. Either way, GG's. We'll head on back and probably see Juan still playing. I don't mean to sound down about that, but it's just it's a fact of life at this point, right?
Looks like one withdrew from the tournament.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ended
I'm
up
looking at the
losing,
results
so had
list.
to head out? Unfortunate.
Tournament will go 10 times quicker now.
Yeah. Hirawashi able to get the victory, congrats. We are in round 4 here, so now we're down to what we have left. I don't think we have anyone do we have anyone left undefeated? Oh, we do, okay.
We have 3 players. 1 got a skip, but
Yeah, so
2 is only
3,
what's 2 for 3.
yeah. Runefolk did decide to leave after the 2 losses.
Yeah, I saw.
I didn't notice that, but okay. Probably best, get some sleep, Rune, it's fine. Alright, let's, go ahead and take it table 1 then, or
Yeah.
table 2?
Let's do table 1.
I don't think have we looked at so, is this a different Lindaway? Or just the one we saw earlier?
I kind of feel like it's different.
I don't know. Maybe we're taking crazy pills, who knows? Alright. They do get the lantern out, though. Anytime you can lantern it up as a Lindaway player, feels pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to start. And getting ahead by 2 on turn 1 is obviously great. And they have the jellyfish, which I feel like I see all the time now, even in Axiom.
Yeah, no, I started playing, Jellyfish a good amount with,
Mm.
Sierra deck that I've been running too. It's been fun.
Yeah, no, it's a really great card, actually. It's so
Yeah.
interesting how, like, things maybe it was played a lot before, I didn't really see it a lot in Axiom, but I feel like we see cards that weren't played a lot in faction suddenly appear, and they really quickly appear everywhere. But yeah, it's a really great deck card these days.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing for, like, uniques too, right?
Mm.
I've found myself, like, looking at some uniques and being like, "Oh, this one actually isn't too bad for this situation now," you know? Which is always, like, the FOMO that I had in my head, of, like, selling uniques sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah.
is like, "But what if it's good at some point? I
Yeah.
wanna get rid of it now."
I
And
have never sold a unique ever,
oh, really?
and
I've
I have a
definitely
lot because of boxes I've opened, and some of them are absolutely terrible. and I don't think they'll ever be good. But I've just never sold it. I sold like rares that were got expensive, and I
Yeah.
had spares and stuff like that, but never sold a unique before.
Wow, look at you. Bet you keep, like, all of your plastic bags from the grocery store too, huh?
Oh no, I'm not like that. My wife probably does that.
We do have a unique tortoise on the board, 22012. When you play a spell, if your companion expedition is behind, target character gains 1 boost. Alright, alright. And then responded by a unique Lady of the Lake that doesn't have the unique art, um, where you can sacrifice a character if you do sabotage. Take out the acolyte. So nice little one for one in this situation. Sure, Lindaway's fine with that. I'm gonna have the ability to play that Lady of the Lake from reserve for a one cost, and honestly, pretty good stats at 203 if you find the right expedition. And companion's not too bad for him at the moment. Obviously, not too hot in hero, but what can you do?
Yeah, no, that's honestly amazing for one. Get the ability for playing it down and sabotaging, and then later it's really great at 1 mana. And then we have the Moyo. Obviously, their unique is still useful considering the companion side's behind.
Yeah, that looks like it's about to get sabotaged.
Yeah, and that is gone.
And it's gone. All right. Good old fashioned Tooth Fairy hitting the board. I remember the days when people actually wanted to play rare Tooth Fairies, so that way you had a one cost from reserve. And then there are other rares that are more important. But what can you do? Either way, Moyo down 2 cards in hand. So they just straight up play the Signet. Just raw dog the Signet from reserve. Why not, right?
And draw the card.
All right. So I mean, it's not a bad day as far as like setup is concerned with the Lindaway, if you can advance and still play an Ordis carrier, right? Like
No, it's a great turn.
like normally you're definitely going down 2 if you do that, but,
Yeah.
this time found a way to get an advance, and, only needs 3 more. Let's have to deal with a little bit more cards in hand now for the Moyo. We'll see if they're able to produce anything. This was the Moyo that was having trouble drawing what they needed on that previous game, but eked out a win, so we'll see if, it is the same situation here, or if they're just gonna, you know, finally succumb to another Ysmir hero. They took down the Akesha, now they gotta take down the Lindaway.
Yeah, I'm interested in general with Moyo. Obviously, depending on which one they're playing, how far you're okay falling behind. I wonder whether, because this is obviously pretty far behind and sitting with 3 moves on the Lindway side to win. But at least they seem to be getting a little more of the spells that they want to play out. I was actually gonna say if it was Lady of the Lake, for one, it's amazing for blocking the hero side on this turn.
But it gets off you go, it looks like.
Hmm.
So not a bad off you go, but it does leave 5 mana here for the Lindaway player to just do what they want essentially. And I have to imagine they're fine with just taking another one for one here. And if they can figure out a double advance, sure, but I'd almost be just like cool with getting the one for one and saving resources. But it does look like they are what what are they doing here?
Why tie instead of winning?
Advance. I'm thoroughly confuzzled on that one. Why
Yeah,
extend the game?
I would never tie against Moyo. There's no
Yeah,
way.
just advance, put pressure on him. I don't know.
That is interesting.
Izmir players, am I right? Jeez. God. Imagine not wanting to advance. Couldn't
Yeah,
be
not
me.
wanting to move.
Could not be me. If I see an opportunity, even if it's a 2 for 2 advance, I'm taking it, you know?
Yeah, I sometimes get a little greedy with advancing and end up messing up my card advantage.
Alright, well, we'll see what happens from it. We do, get the overseer play to start us off, and it's that unique that we saw earlier on here as far as the Bessie Coleman. This time it does get to activate and throw out an aerolith, so there's that at least. Finally get to see them all. And a gift of self. Ooh, always a good card in Lindaway.
Yeah. Good card in Lindaway and Sigismund. I know a lot of folks play it. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. I used to be a fan of it earlier on.
Mm.
Um, I also occasionally like to play a armor jammer in Sigismar back in the day on Beyond the Gates, just for funsies, you know. Um, those are the days where you could kind of just throw any rare in there just
Yeah.
to surprise people a little bit,
Yeah.
and still do well. But not so much anymore. But it was cool at least in that first season. I mean, shoot, we had players playing Kraken Sigismar back in the day and still doing well. So anything could happen in those days. Consistently do well, maybe not, but at least you could try.
No, I feel
Uh,
like, and I actually had a I don't know if I call it heated, but a little back and forth discussion in the competitive talks channel today about whether Sigismund's broken or not.
yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier, right?
Yeah, I like because I play Sigismund like I guess half the time,
Yeah.
and I 100% agree it's tier one if I had to tier the heroes.
Mhm.
I wouldn't call it tier 0 broken and, like,
Yeah.
unbeatable, but I think a lot of players think it's unbeatable and have had this almost, I don't know what the right way of describing it is, but almost like this immediate opinion in the head that like, you can't beat it, so just give up. There's no point playing out the game.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but yeah.
don't yeah, I don't agree with that sentiment in any capacity when it comes
Mm,
to Altered, to be honest. Like, any uh, for the most part, I feel like any deck can beat any deck depending on the situation, right? Of
yeah,
course, odds are sometimes it could be like a 90-10 or
mm,
even a 95-5 kind of thing, but there is still a possibility, is the way I see it, right? Um, and yeah, I mean, Sigismar is good, don't get me wrong. It's just I feel like people just get overwhelmed with it, and they've had it in their mind since the starter deck that Sigismar is too good,
yeah,
and, it is what it is. But I've still played, like, the Sigismar starter deck and lost to, like, Atasia that threw
yeah,
out a Spindle Harvester and then just kept on boosting it up with a physical training, you know? Like, sometimes your opponent gets the cards they need and you lose. I mean,
yeah.
that's all there is to it. So either way, Lindaway ended up getting that 1-0 on that previous day there, using an off you go themselves. They would be adjacent here, if they
Yeah,
decided to freaking advance.
that's exactly what I was just thinking.
But I guess not. Either way, Moth Breeder. We do have a rare Izmir Stargazer hitting the board. Not a card that I've seen a lot in Linda, even in Lindaways lately, opting for other rares usually, but it does give the ability to give more boosts. We do see a unique Marie Curie. When I leave the expedition zone, you may return a spell from your reserve to your hand. And from hand, if you are not the first player, create a mana moth in my expedition. So purely just for the stats here, it looks like. And then maybe returning that magical training, or off you go.
Feel like I haven't seen a lot of uniques that say if you are not the first player compared to
Yeah.
if you are the first player. Interesting.
Thanks. No, I mean, we weren't doing such a good job describing it that you could see the game.
It's like watching or listening to radio.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Well, hope everyone's been enjoying the game so far. It's been really a thriller. At the moment, we are going to see a three-cost magical training. Yikes! But I feel like that's something they did last game too, and they still
I
won.
did.
So yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. But
Yeah, then Norway would be winning if they moved earlier.
yeah, I mean, could have been game over, but you know what? Whatever. what can you do? They are gonna return the magical training, and get rid of the off you go. Interesting, interesting. Oh, alright, well, they
Yeah, I
could
feel
technically come back, but, I
they
wouldn't put
could. This deck's felt like, because we've seen it twice now, as just felt like it's, I don't know if it's they just been drawn right, but it feels like it's missing something the whole time.
yeah,
I think it's difficult playing against Lindor, and you struggle against Sigismund too as well because of the smaller cost creatures and not being able to sort of use your spells on anything large or impactful. Um, but I don't. Yeah, it's interesting in terms of the way they're playing it out the whole time. Like this time, they seem like they've got their spells, but they haven't been able to use the mots in such a way to sort of like at least move or stop moving. Like they've only moved 3 times this game, so maybe it's just draw. Maybe they have other uniques. I guess we've seen 2 of their uniques now, so I don't even know what the third one would do.
yeah. I don't know, maybe it's just something in general that's relying a lot on getting into the later game and
Yeah,
maybe just trying not to lose there. But in the meantime, just playing a little bit slow here. Gonna play the Leviathan Spotter. Gonna reveal a card so we know what's in hand as far as the Lost in the Riptide. And yeah, throwing another Manmoth out there. So I guess technically they could play the Off You Go. Um,
yep.
but we'll have to see how they respond here. Still options for the Lindaway to. Oh, they are going to play the off you go. Interesting.
I think they off you go the Stargazer and then
Yeah.
put the moss on the other side. Yeah,
Hmm.
but I guess that doesn't cover the Marikuri going out on the companion side anyway.
Yeah. They'd still advance on water, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I think Lindaway wins. Yep.
Could have won last day, but wanted to give us some more time there. GG's to both players. Moyo not able to pull that one out and get the W as mere victory. So we'll head on back. Without the resupply infinite deck on the board, we may just be going into round 5. Who knows?
Seems like we're close.
We are. One game left. We'll jump into it. And I'm going to remember to switch. Very end of the game here. We do have that soul that I mentioned potentially taking a look at. We'll have to remember that for the next round if they decide to stick around. We'll take a look at the soul. Um Bravos Pathfinder at dusk. If you control 2 or more boosted characters, sabotage. Okay, okay. They're gonna go and end their turn here, get the Halua. Doesn't really do anything there, but we'll see. Sustenance could hit the card draw. Do they get anything that they can play for 5? Stat over 13, 14, 0, 10.
That's a sustenance.
Another sustenance, of course. This has to be a Hydra deck, right?
Yeah, it must be.
And they
Ah,
hit the Spindle Harvester. Okay, so do they have Hydra in the discard? They don't. So
nope.
what are they ramping towards here?
Yeah, they even have mana channeling,
They
Asia.
they literally not hit any of them and only have 7 cards in
Wait,
hand
I
in
I
deck.
have to look at their deck. I wanna go and figure out what if they're playing Hydra.
Alright, well, that's the end of the round.
Yep.
Soul end up taking that one. Everyone, thanks for watching. You are watching the AWOL Season 4 Wednesday Weekly number 4. We are gonna jump in straight to round 5. Currently, we have 2 undefeated players, one that has a bye, but still undefeated. So we'll go ahead and watch them. But we can
Works.
uh, but
I looked at the Tage's deck.
Yeah.
and they are playing 3 Hydras.
Dude, so they must have manned at least one, right?
Yeah, must have.
There's no way that all 3 are in the bottom 7 cards of their deck.
No.
It's just not physically possible. So we're waiting on table 1 at the moment. Hopefully they can move fast because I wanna see if I can watch some Soul too. As I mentioned, want to thank everyone that is watching us. As Argon mentioned earlier, feel free to watch them here. You said this Thursday or next week?
So we were originally going to do the stream tomorrow. I know Thaddeus, who's in the chat, was actually the one organizing it.
Mhm.
And we were going to do it tomorrow when the game found was ending this
Yeah.
Friday. And then it's been extended. So we'll do something next week. I don't know exactly when yet, but we'll obviously like post about it everywhere.
Yeah. So feel free to watch them. And of course, check out the game found. We want to support the upcoming set. Interesting with players not showing up.
So interesting information. The Hydras were in the bottom 7 cards of their deck.
No fucking way.
I looked at their mana. There is no Hydra in
Fucking A, dude.
there.
That doesn't seem possible.
That's rough. Shame.
I don't know. Maybe they're not joining here.
Is it that's the unbeaten player, right? Not the well, I guess they both unbeaten, but the not the one who got the bye
Yeah, I
earlier.
think that's the actual unbeaten player.
Yeah.
They have 2 more minutes.
Interesting.
Maybe they
They're
just got
from
tired. I
Philly.
don't know.
Oh,
I mean, they're in Chile, so it's not like it's too much of a time difference.
yeah.
I would think the guy playing from the Philippines is probably in a worse spot than him, but who knows? Well, well, if that one ends up booting up, sure, but in the meantime, I wanna watch some Soul, so table 7.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Not often that we're looking at the bottom table here, but you know what? We'll wanna watch some Soul. Why not? So we'll switch on over to the gameplay and not forget. We missed the first day, but it was just a 1 for 1. Our first 2 days, so yeah. Alright, no big deal.
Yeah, Soul's a hero that I really wanna try sort of build because
Yeah,
but I feel like I don't think you have to have good uniques, but I think there are like specific types of uniques to try and sort of force the pass quicker.
yeah.
My biggest hesitancy when I sort of saw the hero up front is I've always felt like Altered is really a game of information advantage, and you give up a lot of information by sort of playing out with Rush and get using a lot of your mana early, which is obviously like a lot of the off to use sort of 1 mana cards that we all play in our decks.
Mhm.
But I have seen Soul do relatively well, so I feel like it has some merit as a good hero to play out.
Yeah, I mean, it was the demo deck, right?
Yeah.
So not to say that demo deck is always an indicator, because it's not like we saw a lot of, Izmir on the previous,
Yeah.
setup, but, it's a thing. They are gonna pass here and get that second counter. Happy with the 1 for 1. They did have an early play of it looks like a, flying dockyard, which is a cool little setup.
Oh, interesting.
Um Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're not feeling too bad here as long as you don't go behind to the Navenka, because I assume most Navenkas are just get ahead and beat you real quick Navenkas, but maybe not because there is a little mouse that just got played as a Navenka player. Not something I'm used to, but unique spy hits the reserve. 4-3-2-3-2 from anywhere, target character in your other expedition. gains 2 boost, and when I go to the reserve in the expedition zone, sabotage. They also play a Mighty Simbi unique.
These are some nice uniques.
Yeah,
This
at
one
least
has sort of like the Suha ability, but
mhm,
with being able to give boosts from anywhere, and then ramp with the Sumi and more boosts. Kind of seem like the Sierra uniques.
yeah. Which I have to imagine ramp is pretty good here with the soul, right?
Oh yeah,
So, see how this turns out. We are going to mana. Do have to deal with the anywhere sabotage from the little mouse potentially. But they could also just rush if they wanted to, and instead we'll see that Skybound Odyssey that you mentioned before.
Hmm.
This time in the Bravo setup. And they will go ahead and throw out one, and they're gonna immediately end their turn, it looks like, after this. Or I guess they still have a 3 cost that they could play from hand, huh?
Yeah. And then at this point, you were going to overflow your reserve anyway, so sabotage helps you decide which one.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess now you would really like to keep the harpooner, so
Good thing here is that the Halua does block, so it forces at least a roll here. I almost would just rather roll first as than the Navenka here, and then see if they can get it and save cards. If
yes.
they do decide to play the Trickster instead and play it safe, and they're not gonna even roll, so another 1 for 1.
Yeah, I feel like Soul Player is feeling good at this point. Obviously, cards are a little rough, but if you can sort of play the Odyssey out again, you're in a great spot. Get that, use the Sabotage on the Harpooner, get another counter on Soul, and draw a card with the Odyssey.
And it looks like they're having a trouble deciding if that's what they wanna do or not, though.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know what's in hand, so maybe they have another idea. What you mentioned does not sound like a bad one. They do have to deal with the fact that the Navenka does have card advantage.
I think I was frozen again. I keep
Okay.
freezing as well.
So we maybe they're not thinking too hard about it. I just got to refresh. Um, looks like they went with I don't know what they went with. Kept the Skybound Odyssey, obviously.
Get rid of the Harpooner.
Mm, another Mighty Gen. All right. Not a bad spot to put it. Still 3 mana left here, though, for the Navenka.
Yeah, they couldn't really play out the Odyssey because they were clearly holding 2 4-mana cards in hand.
Boost is going to come out big here. And then they can just one cost for the advance. Oh, wait. They end first. So Halua, never mind.
Oh, yeah.
So, wait, why didn't they play the. Okay, so they ended first so that the Halua didn't come out. So they must not have had anything. Interesting.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I could with that many cards in hand, they must have but I guess maybe they just didn't have something that could cover
Yeah.
both. But you had the Mountain Guide, which was gonna give you 2 and match in Mountain at least.
Yeah, but then they would have lost in forest. So I assume they just didn't have
Yeah,
anything. So yeah,
yeah.
that's another interesting like interaction setup with Halua where it almost forces your opponent to pass early if they don't even if they don't have something to actually deal with it, right? Um
Yeah, I've generally found that playing into Soul that I don't try to, like, play in such a way to stop them getting to 5. Unless obviously, if I have the opportunity, I'm going to, but I mean, like, I'm not actually actively trying to do that the whole time because I feel like it slows you down and I obviously play a lot of aggro, so that's why, but
yeah.
I found at one point I used to try and, like, play games to try and stop them doing it and passing at a time I normally wouldn't pass, and you end up just sort of screwing yourself later in the game.
Yeah, it's all it almost seems like in almost every case it's better just to play the game
Yeah,
that you're trying to play rather than playing around them. But I can see in that situation if you didn't have anything, whereas you may as well just pass. So
yeah.
we'll see what ends up turning up here. 2 Mighty Djinns, not a bad thing to have here. And yeah, Skybound Odyssey. Don't need one in reserve, you can just play it from hand, right?
Probably play both Mighty Gens, I guess.
I would assume so. No
Yeah.
reason not to. Great great terrains to put them in. Gonna play them on one side. Okay. I guess if you do have the advantage, or you did get that lead
Mm.
from the previous day, you're feeling pretty fine going 1 for 1 here.
Yeah, it's something I personally tend to struggle with when I'm ahead. I'll still get greedy and try to
Yeah.
go both sides instead of just saying, "Hey, I've got that side with the 2 Mighty Gens with the forest and the mountain." So, like, why do more?
Yeah, I don't know, it's rough for me because sometimes I just get so worried about the idea of, like, focusing too hard on one side,
Mm.
and just potentials of, like, people counterplaying that too. But in this case, it does make sense. They do still throw out the, 4 cost Priya, in order to just shore things up a little bit. We do get the pass though, and we're at 4 counters for the Halua. Still 4 mana left here for the Davenka. Could potentially play the Twinkle Twinkle again. Don't know if they want to though. Um, have to worry about the Ascended Expedition on the hero side at the moment as well.
Yeah, I don't know if sleeping there was the best idea because of the fact that that Mighty Gen's gonna be around next turn.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they forgot about the Hulua and therefore thought that they could cover the 4/4.
Mhm. Looks like they don't. They're gonna cost reduce here for what? 'Cause it would have made sense, obviously, if they were able to get, like, a 2-0 there, I
Yeah.
think, but, um, doesn't seem like that's the case, and they cost reduce into nothing. So,
Yeah, they just did GG, misclick or wrong click.
yeah, or like you said, they could have also just forgot about the Helua and not been as confusing.
Yeah, I did that a lot when the Euro first came out.
Mhm. Oh, it's kinda looking like we may see another, Soul Victory, so cool to see the hero do somewhat well here.
Yeah, this is difficult because if you were in the water, obviously, then you could maybe get this go to arena with a 2 move at this point, but you're likely gonna end up with a lure being gigantic now as well, so
Yeah, it's not looking too hot. Um, did we get a freeze? Let me refresh. Anytime it like people take a bit, I'm like, is it freezing? No, okay. They're actually deciding on mana. All right.
yeah, I've noticed sometimes when it says, like, strange things not strange, but, like, things at the top that you don't see a lot, like, "Oh, this player discards all these cards back to reserve," that then it's frozen,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know why it does it so much these days. Saying in
Supposed to
chat, I was
sleep my Hathor.
yeah.
Okay. Well, can still see how it turns out here. Unique Pathfinder out once again. Price two boosted characters though, so nothing doing yet. Could definitely get it from the data lists. Rare Martingale, not, I mean, it used to be more popular with the Navenkas back in the day, but I feel like it's not as popular anymore.
Yeah, I have noticed that. Obviously useful sort of when you're rolling, but I feel like there's a lot of other cards now and also uniques that are sort of supporting that in the anyway, and probably better in terms of stats.
Yeah. Especially if there's, like you said, uniques that are able to do something similar, right?
Yeah.
So, we get a data list for data lists. Second data list not rolling the way they need to, though. So we'll get a boost out, though. At this point, you just throw a lot of stats on the board as the soul. You still get to pass first and you win, right?
Pretty much.
Maybe
And
get a
if they can
sabotage
overrun.
here. Yep.
Ooh, yeah, I think
Not a
that's
bad
game.
yeah, not a bad play. Alright, so you pass here as the Navenka so they don't get the Halua, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That is the 100% optimal line.
They did pass, see?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Called it, called it. Peak casting right there. Alright. So congratulations to the sole player. We'll head on back here to see if that, top table actually ended ever starting to play. They did play, and the player that showed up late ended up winning. Alright.
Only undefeated player.
So I guess we'll have to watch them in round 6 there. And so the game we were watching was the last one, so once they wrap up that game, we'll go ahead and watch, the final round of this AWOL, Altered Weekly Online League, Season 4, Wednesday Weekly, number 4. Once again, want to thank everyone that has joined us thus far and that may be still watching. I am Blue, also known as Blue Oak TV on all social medias, including YouTube, which you should subscribe to, as well as this channel. Feel free to join us on following weeks for some more weekly altered action. Of course, I've been joined by none other than Argon, uh, one of the most highly recruited casters that you could obviously go for within the altered community. Argon, feel free to promote yourself and just say how cool you are.
Yeah, I appreciate the call out. I am actually still getting socials and stuff sorted out in general, but like I said earlier, you can sort of go to my Twitch, Argon TCG, and I'm trying to stream more, sort of streaming mostly altered, but then also the other game that recently came out that I won't name. Uh, but you can
You
catch
can
me
stream
there.
that?
I can stream it playing it on Tabletop Simulator.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but obviously no real like great sim to play it at the moment. The same way we have with BGA.
Yeah,
But yeah, so you guys can catch me there, and then I'm very active on Discord as well. So reach out to me if you guys have any questions about anything or you need to learn the game. Like I love teaching players how to sort of get started in Altered.
definitely. Well, we do have round 6 up in Adam. Table 1 it is, and March is actually here on time, so we can actually watch it. And they are deciding on mana, it looks like. Oh, of
The
course.
sig.
I always say people they miss this mirror matchup, and you got to provide it to the people sometimes, right?
I can see my little discussion about that it's not broken is probably going to come to haunt me when
I
someone's like, "But didn't you cast the final mirror match?"
do have a unique card here that's blank. Um, the Ugly Duckling 1/2/1. When I go to the reserve from the expedition zone, create an airlift token and target player's landmarks. When I leave the expedition zone, create an Oris recruit token in your hero expedition. So it's an interesting unique because I almost would prefer the rare.
Yes, I 100% would rather play the rare.
So interesting, interesting. Anyway,
Maybe there's
um,
some reason why they care about the Arrowlet token. I don't know. I don't generally think it's useful in Sigismar because your draw is usually okay these days, at least.
yeah, we do end up getting a 2-for-1 here. Top Sigismar able to maintain the lead and put themselves in a good spot to stay undefeated here in round 6. But bottom Sigismar gets that airlift.
Yep,
It's
and an extra recruit.
it's the start. You never know.
There's gonna be some infinite combo with the the landmarks that I don't know about.
They're gonna make us look stupid. That's for sure. All right. Well, they're gonna play it again.
It's actually interesting. I've seen Sigismar players now not play Monolith Legat because it's like I feel like there's just better stuff at the moment.
Mhm.
Um, and then I personally like end up trying to like, oh, I'll put two of it instead of three, and I'll put two of something else. And then I always go back and say, like, if I'm not, if a card, if I really don't play a card, I'm gonna play three of it. And that's
Mhm.
just the general fact. Like playing two means potentially not going to draw it the entire game.
Yeah.
Um, but they're all, I see the other players playing Ozma, which is great for sort of helping to do with their card advantage. It feels like they're trying to use resupply for card advantage instead of drawing, resupplying with the Ozma, having the Arrowlith as well. Very different for Sigismar.
Yeah. Yeah, I've honestly seen, some Sigismar players even go down to 1 Legat,
Yeah.
as a whole too, so it's definitely been one of those cards where I remember back in the day when people playing Sigismar figured out, like, "Hey, bureaucrats aren't just for, Waru. Did you know that?"
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you know this, but in every fucking set, Sigismar can utilize other cards meant for
Every
certain
card.
heroes better than those heroes. Just in case you weren't aware. It's probably because
Yeah.
Sigismar is broken, right, Argon?
Yeah, definitely broken.
Mhm. But yeah, no, I agree. For this bottom Sigismar, I think the idea of running a card advantage type of Sigismar that's not focused on draw could be pretty cool if you have the right uniques for it, and you kind of play around it. I think it would be a fun idea if someone's able to find at least a way to do that consistently. To me, it doesn't feel as good because there's always cards that it feels like you want to play from hand and then be able to play again, right?
Yeah, the
So
problem is obviously resupply works when you're playing Traced and Axiom because a lot of the cards are sort of cheaper playing from reserve.
mhm,
But because of the amount of sort of sabotage going on at the moment with cards like Suha, I would sort of be hesitant to play something that relies on your reserve the entire time with Sigismar.
yeah. Still not in a bad spot here though,
Mm,
because they do have card advantage, and with that extra recruit that we were laughing at earlier, that they're not too far behind on that hero side. Um, they may, in fact, be able to make things up here a little bit on this current day, depending on what they have. I imagine we're going to see another Ozma play here,
yeah,
because you have the setup for it, and then just have another 2 cost play that should be pretty decent. And then also just force your opponent to use the last of the cards that they have in their hand too. So not too bad in a situation at the moment. We'll see if what the final cards are here.
the great resupply when you're going to be the first player next turn with the Cryer. They have another card to play out, sort of already giving the opponent draw on the companion side, so you might as well play out another card if you can to sort of get the double move and now tie it. Well, no, I guess not tie it up, get a hit by one.
Teamwork training would come in clutch here.
Mm,
Avoid the draw. Nice, dude. I'm just
predicted.
I'm fucking on it today, right?
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. Well, 2-0 for the bottom Sigismar, and honestly, just proving us wrong here. Ugly Duckling setup is just
Yeah.
smashing it for him with the Ozmas and, still having card advantage here, and now they're up on the Tumult as well. So and they have an Aerolith waiting. Like,
You
who
got
knows when
everything
that's
they
gonna come in.
that
Yep,
broken ugly duckling unique is coming in clutch.
time to sell it while the market's hot.
You're gonna see it on the marketplace. I went 5-1 on AWOL with this unique. It's amazing.
Beat the undefeated player. So it's interesting here. I feel like in a lot of situations, after talking to some folks, that even earlier on, you could have situations for like Sigismar players where you can decide not to mana, even though you're at like 4 or 5 mana, and just try to play around the idea you do have a lot of low cost cards and you could draw and worry about it later. But they both decide to mana here. Obviously, for not as big of a deal for the bottom Sigismar, but for the top one, it is because now they're down to just 2 cards at hand.
Yeah, I start to consider it at 6,
Mhm.
because I feel like you can a lot of times play optimally, especially if you're ahead, that like the bottom Sigma player, like with being ahead, you can think about it seriously if you feel like you have the cards to be able to pull out at least one move for each of the next two sort of 2, 3 turns.
Yeah.
But obviously, it just depends how heavy of a deck you're playing. Like I spoke about me playing more Skybound Odyssey version of Sigismar, then I kind of don't really want to give up my mana early because I'm sort of going to use heavier creatures later.
Yeah,
But in this case, their deck seems to mostly be twos. We've sort of only seen two on one mana so far.
yeah.
So they could probably think about it soon.
Yeah, I don't know if the top Sigmar is frozen or if they just didn't expect that exhaust. I'm gonna refresh just in case. I was about to
Yeah,
say I'm
me
gonna resupply just in case, but,
too.
um so I did refresh, and it does look like they are thinking about it. So they got put in a tough spot. Honestly, I'd be a little bit afraid if I'm the top Sigismar here. You know, I went undefeated, and I run into this other Sigismar that's doing some crazy shit that shouldn't work, but it's
Yeah.
working, and they're hitting all the cards I need, and so they're gonna throw down. Okay, just straight up, they're gonna throw down the Aegis Templar. Um,
Because they worried about another Jack Frost, I guess. They probably the card in hand is not great. They're worried if they sort of scouted and then they get another Jack Frost exhaust and then they're sort of stuck with nothing to do.
yeah, the Crier is definitely a good play here. Still 2 mana left, and we do get a unique out on the board. Probably one that this Sigismar definitely needed, as far as card draw is concerned. Um, it Oh, and it just missed the 4 or more characters too, unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a little rough.
Does seem like you could still get a 2-1 here for the bottom Sigismar, and
Yeah.
yeah, they're gonna take it. So they'll be adjacent here. The other Sigismar will be 3 advances away, and realistically, resource-wise, everything's gonna be pretty even. So, not a good look for the top Sigismar, who is currently undefeated.
Yeah, and he obviously now overflows his reserve, so gonna have to get rid of one. Like you said, they'll be equal on resources, but the bottom Sigismar is sitting with the Jack Frost, which obviously could come in really clutch. Yeah, they obviously also have the Aralith, so they can resupply if they need to. Which I'm wondering if we'll actually see that happen. It could be a good way to after you.
Yeah,
You're not worried about sabotage, but at this point you'll end up with sort of three cards in reserve, so maybe you don't even mind.
interesting. They decided to get rid of the Ozma. I almost thought they would keep it just in case they wanted to try to block on that companion side.
Mm.
Um, but probably a safer bet to do what they did. But with so low, like, even on 7 mana, though, it doesn't seem like you have a lot here. Um, so not a great situation for them. Yeah, I was
Interested to see
curious.
if they mana. Yeah.
What's that?
I wonder if either player will mana, yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm still fine with manaing as the bottom
Yeah.
Sigismar here.
Yeah, bottom Sigismar for sure, because you have the
Yeah.
two manas and
For the top Sigismar, it really depends on what you just drew,
yeah.
because you either have a good 1 cost here, there where you can play Templar, Attorney 1 cost maybe, or leave yourself some variation to play a 2 cost that's different than the Attorney, but they do decide to mana, so I assume they have at least 3 cards to play here based off of
Yeah,
this
they
mana
must.
decision, and they're fine with whatever exhaust comes out from the bottom Sigismar. So me as the bottom Sigismar then is I have to assume that's the case. So I'm fine hitting the Templar then, because I have to assume that they can play it, but who knows? We'll see what
Yeah,
they
I feel like
decide to do.
you Jack Frost into whatever's left
Yeah,
once the top Sigismar plays, and then you honestly, unless you have something like great in hand that you want to play on your curve, you can literally maybe use the Arrowlith as an after you,
yeah.
see what else they play, and be able to choose the side that you're going to go into. Yeah, there comes the Jack Frost, which is obviously great with you sitting on Forest on the companion side.
So ideal situation is some type of low cost draw unique, but you know what? Trooper's not bad either. But that does mean they just have 1 card left, and they decided to mana too, so this must be a really good card, right?
Yeah, it would have to be. Ah, they didn't after you with the Arrowlith.
I would have almost preferred to see the airlift first.
Maybe they worried about sabotage or something with like a unique that
Mm.
has that, but Ooh, because with
Sandman.
Aerolith, it would have actually been better to play out first for
Yeah.
you.
So there's still a lot they can do here for 3 costs,
Yes.
though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
their own Sandman. Alright.
that's game.
GG's. Well, congratulations to the bottom Sigismar. Had I come into this game and you would have told me after seeing that ugly duckling unique that bottom Sigismar would have won, I would have not believed that. But congratulations to Danny Tessier,
Yep.
and taking the victory. I assume BJ will assign you the win, and immediately March goes away on the mobile. Can't believe it. Going to bed immediately. They could still win. I don't know BJ tiebreaker rules, but we'll see what ends up happening. But GG's, which sucks too because we have to wait for them to discard the last card.
Oh, no. I hate when that happens, and you're just stuck waiting.
I hate it because it used to not be that way, right? But ever since
Yes.
they add that confirm thing at the end of it, it's
Yeah.
like, come on. Yeah, they're not
Uh-huh.
there. All right.
Uh,
Well, we're gonna go ahead and head back here, see if there's any other games we're gonna catch
oh,
before
there we
things
go.
wrap
Came
up.
online and said GG, so I think it will actually end now. Game.
Still some games left here. So anyone that we hadn't get a chance to play? I think we've seen table 2, we've seen table 5, and we've seen table 6, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right then. Um, more Soul it is, table 5.
Sounds good. This is what we like to see. So many cards in reserve, so many landmarks.
Yeah, I mean, we even have 2 airlifts for the Soul, like,
I know.
come on. This is true altered here.
Everyone's playing arrows, apparently.
Even the Souls. So Soul does have the 5 counters, but is down a spot on the Tumult, so we'll see how that makes a difference. Saris does not have anything left on the restocking station, but has the ability to use the Gibble effect. I imagine the Gibble's gonna mostly be bug out bag material though, but we'll see.
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess now the soul doesn't have anything to sabotage with Harpooner.
Yeah.
It still could rush out a lot, yeah. It's probably gonna be difficult to get 2 sides, yeah, to sort of get ahead.
I mean, not a bad situation because they will be first player next turn,
Yep.
and they can all obviously harpoon where it's ever in reserve because there has to be something, especially with Isuri only having 2 cards at the moment.
True.
Obviously, they will have one based off of the Aerolith that I imagine is going to be sacrificed. Um, so we'll see how this turns out. But yeah, I imagine both cards from hand is going to be played going to be played. Now it's just a question of how the soul wants to play this. Are they going to rush into something else and then pass? Has to be, right?
Has to be.
Hopefully, it's not the harpooner.
Hopefully not. It would be a terrible waste.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Did the Daedalus scouted?
Okay, so what are they doing?
I don't understand. No, actually, I don't. I can't explain it at all. Maybe it's a misclick.
Isn't it just better to play the Daedalus and
Yes.
get the gigantic?
Yeah.
Like no matter what you have in hand here, I don't care what 2 costs you have.
Yeah, because you don't, because now you're gonna overflow your reserve like you were going to before, but now it's gonna be even worse.
Yeah, interesting. Some questionable plays this AWOL weekly that I'm
Yeah,
not sure
we've
about.
seen some interesting ones.
Um, my least favorite thus far has definitely been the give the Moyo one more turn and you could have
Yeah.
advanced, but they did end up still winning that one, so I guess I can't complain.
I
All
will
right.
say though, we've seen a lot of different heroes. Obviously, we had the sickest mirror match where we
Okay,
see
so they
Soul
just
is
passing.
great. I'm so confused.
Jesus Christ.
Uh,
I 1 for 1, right? Hmm?
yeah, why not?
Alright, um, sure.
They just say in chat, "Hi, good luck, and have fun."
They just started?
I feel like I'm in like an alternative universe.
Yeah. It's definitely around 6. The players are getting delirious.
Yeah.
The sole player is in the UK at the moment, so they have an excuse, and Trumpf is in France, so both of these players are just they're going on fumes, right? They have to be.
Ooh, the Skybound Odyssey, which I assume is probably not enough at this point.
Well, you hit the support ability, right? You're fine with them playing the bug out bag if
Yeah.
you sabotage here?
Yep.
Gonna play it on one side, which is interesting. Okay, so that's not a bad spot to put the Mighty Gen at,
Yeah, that isn't bad.
and they don't hit the oh my fuck what? Why? Why give them more resources?
I don't know.
Like, I'm not taking crazy pills, right?
Not at all. I'm very confused.
Jesus. Go to bed, both of you, after this.
Yeah, 100%.
Go to bed.
You should not be playing Altered at this time. And they get, I assume, the grams, and then they
Yeah,
will
and
get rid of the restarting station. Yeah.
that's a free 3/4/4 in stats for 2
Yeah.
mana. Whereas what they could have had how much before? 2, 2,
Yeah.
2 for the same cost.
Yeah.
Jesus, I don't know. Whatever. The only benefit is that this is a common Grims, and they're gonna only have 3 in Forest, right? That's the only positive that's coming from
Yes.
this.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out why they were going that side, but then I realized it doesn't really matter. Well,
Yeah, it
actually,
doesn't
no, it does matter. Like, why isn't the Grams going onto the companion side? Because the
yeah.
Halua is gigantic. So it's not doesn't matter which side you go on.
Just let him play. Just let him play, alright? Just let him go. It's fine. Alright, pass. Gigantic Kahlua. Alright.
Raz.
Alright, so you gotta find 4 you gotta find 5 stats to win. They have to have some, like, forest card, right?
They must. That's the only reason why I can see they passed.
Me, dude. What?
I think they forgot about the token or the Halua. Oh, misplay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's been a few of those, you don't say.
We're aware.
Alright, well, sure, let's play another day. Let's make it interesting.
Maybe we'll go to arena, make it more fun for everyone
Yeah,
watching.
make it a final, like, a really fun final game for everyone watching and for the VOD viewers here for the round number 6. Just skip ahead for everything else. You don't need to watch it. This is the important stuff. Alright, discard, discard. I'm gonna discard.
I also feel like you'd want to end this game since it's whatever time in the morning by them.
Yeah, like,
3 in
why
the
are you
morning.
dragging this on? Go to bed. I wanna eat dinner after this.
Yeah.
Alright. Soul with 7 counters. Issery with nothing in reserve. So they are going to just burn the Aerolith for a mana. Um, not horrible cards.
No, I think it's
Depending on
pretty
what
good.
they need, yeah, so it seems so based off of that decision, if I'm the Soul, I know they're low on stats, right? Like,
Yeah.
I gotta assume they're low on stats. And they What?
Why?
This there's got there had to have been better 3 mana plays, right?
It has to have been.
Alright. So, why not Skybound Odyssey at this point?
But it works perfectly into the hero side with the Mighty Djinn.
Watch them
Yep.
play it on Companion. Okay, cool.
I would have literally just left this cast.
Alright, and Daedalus, a good play. Please leave it in the expedition. Thank you. Don't
Bro
scout
said
it.
wrong side, so I lose. I don't think that was the problem. A lot of other reasons.
There's a lot of other things that are going wrong here that you're gonna lose, but, at least they didn't scout the Daedalus this time.
Yeah, also, I'm not sure why it would have mattered which side they played on, unless I guess it's what they have in hand
Yeah.
and what zones they're in.
I mean, they would have been in the same situation here,
Yeah.
almost. I mean, technically not, but pretty close. You also had no way of knowing that they had the Daedalus, so
No.
alright.
Good old Tengu. I love that card. Very good common.
Alright, so do they have another 2 cost? Nope, they're gonna pass. So we are getting the tiebreaker.
Yep.
Sure.
With the gigantic Halua and the tiebreaker, it's gonna be a lot.
Wouldn't it have just been better to I guess it would I mean, do you airlift there just to see what resupply you get?
Yes,
Like,
100%.
to make the decision, right? Like, you
Yeah.
have to. Like, they've been sitting there, at least see what you're gonna get. Like, if you lose a card, you lose a card. Like, I'm fine losing a Tengu.
Yeah, you'd rather because you're not gonna probably see it now in Arena unless you're
Yeah,
using them as after use, but you might as well see it, at least one, and then
yeah,
just get rid of the worst card.
because you still get the Halua. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, exhaust, but I don't know. I don't know anymore, Aryan. I just don't know. What
Uh,
kinda switch is this for you going from Worlds casting to
oh, it's very interesting. I
it
also usually play this tournament. I kinda wish I played tonight. But no, it is interesting.
Well, then
I
with how
always
thi
like
yeah, with
I
how
always
things are going, you
feel
probably could have played and casted at the same time,
oh,
but,
yeah. I was actually gonna ask that at one point. I was like, "I wonder if I'm allowed to do that."
probably could have.
No. But yeah, it's I'm glad we've seen so many different decks. Obviously, that's quite a lot of misplays we've seen.
Mhm.
But at least this went to Arena, which makes it a little exciting.
I mean, you called it as the last day
Yeah,
was starting, we were gonna get an arena, so
yeah.
see, we have 2 of the uniques for the soul out too. Okay, okay, there we go. Putting cards in reserve, making that Anansi look good.
Yep. The soul, the Order Spy is gonna give character and the other side 2 boosts, which is
Okay.
obviously really good at this point.
So they targeted the spy for the boost, alright. So do they have another play before the spy here? No, right?
I doubt it.
Unless they're gonna Aerolith. Come on,
Yeah,
Aerolith.
maybe Aralith, so you can see what
Just to
comes
see what
out.
you get. Come on, if you're gonna play the spy anyway, Aerolith. Come on, Lady Lotara. Aerolith. I'm just surprised you're awake, Runefolk.
Yeah, I
Like,
saw the comment in the
y
chat.
you should go to sleep just like both of these players.
He said they
God,
used the Aralith. Oh, no, they didn't Aralith.
fuck me, dude.
Uh,
Maybe they're gonna Aerolith next turn just to
probably.
before playing the Halua, just to show us what card they would have gotten. Alright, let's math here. So 444 at least for Issery gets them up to what?
I was literally like, "Don't play the Gibble, don't play the Gibble."
No fucking way. They just
Uh,
didn't do it. What?
I am so lost.
What a way to end it. Like, it had to end that way, right? Like, use the gibble for what you intended to put it in there for,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, no.
Obviously. I don't know what we were thinking.
And they didn't use their arrows.
And still didn't use the airlift. Yeah, you know what? Who who cares? Hope everyone's been enjoying this Altered Weekly Online League season 4, Wednesday Weekly number 4. I've been Blue, Blue Oak TV on YouTube. Nargan's been sitting here with me enjoying
Yep.
this weekly. We do have a winner. For some reason, the guy that the March ends up winning anyway after losing the final matchup. So gotta love BGA tiebreakers. But bravo to Danny Tessier, who was able to get the win with the super clutch, unique ugly duckling that skyrocketed in cost now. If you want to put that on the board. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say. Any final thoughts?
No, it's been fun. I look forward to casting more. Always wanted to cast A.W.O.L, so I appreciate the opportunity. But yeah, it was good to see, like I said earlier, some different decks, some different heroes than we usually see. I obviously would have loved to have seen a Basira because that's my main hero, but it was sort of fun to see. And obviously, well done to the Sigismund player for winning it out. Made me look bad in Discord about Sigismund not being broken. But yeah, like I said, I'm on Twitch. I'm under Argon TCG, so you can follow me there, and I'll be streaming Altered tomorrow night for sure, and then probably on the weekend as well. So pop in.
Definitely. Yeah, for me, it's been seeing the different styles of play is what I'll call it. Um, has been the best part about this week. And also, obviously, everyone in the chat, Runefolk, thanks for showing back up after getting absolutely obliterated on this on your sub Ash. Obviously, we're planning on going 0-6. Uh, So can't blame you for leaving. But yeah, Giga Chad Gibble. Either way, again, want to thank everyone here for joining us here for this AWOL Wednesday Weekly number 4. Be sure to sign up for Monday and Wednesday of next week as well. Be sure to give your money to the Game Found. Be sure to give your money to your local stores and keep on supporting the game. Just look at who I lost to. They went 3-8, only winning to me and each other. That's what you get, man. So you lost to Free Sparta and the Real 999. Yeah,
Mm.
you're losing your touch. You gotta go play hostage. But either way, that'll be it. We're gonna head to the goodbye screen. Have a good night, everyone.
No,
Bye.